Federal Communications Commission has determined the following content to be emotionally harmful.
Funny things that you think's funny aren't funny.
Give me cocks all the time. I want cocks all over me.
The Alan Cox Show kicks ass, man.
Welcome. Show me what you got.
You're not going to see a lot of cocks on TV.
Alan Cox from the Alan Cox Show.
I don't know what it's about you, but I can't even stand your voice.
I think you're the biggest asshole alive.
It's going to be a great show.
Let's kick it. I'll say kick it, and you'll just kick it with a tasty groove, okay? 1, 2, 3, kick it. Kick it. Come on. God damn it. Could you one time kick it? What the?
Alan Cox.
Here we go. He'll ad-lib. He'll be fine.
It's the Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS.
All right, hey, what's up? Good afternoon. Greetings and salutations. Willkommen, bienvenue. And whatever else. Thanks for showing up. My name's Alan Cox. Say hi to Rob Anthony right over there.
What's up, man?
Is Kat back in Studio G?
Yep. I don't know if she can hear you. Yeah, there you go.
There she is. Everything okay back there? Is everything 5 by... Did I interrupt you doing your calisthenics? Were you doing yoga on the floor again?
No, I'm going to make sure I get that in on the next break, though.
Well, I mean, you don't have to. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't interrupting.
She's getting set up.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
That's she's putting her headphones on now.
Oh,
so
I got
she
you.
can even
Okay.
hear you. Yeah.
Well, listen, I won't bury the lead. You know, on Fridays here, it's well established, as is probably the case in most offices here at iHeart Cleveland on Fridays. It is a goddamn ghost town, right?
Oh, yeah.
And today, it's going to be completely empty, even earlier than usual, because we gotta, to use Kat's parlance, bounce, as the kids say, a little bit early today to get down to the Foundry for Wolfie Van Halen. And so that'll be later on. It'll be fine. I've still got tickets to give to people. If you need an 11th hour, let's say you found yourself as I did. My plan initially was I was going to be at Sonic Temple all weekend, and those plans imploded. And but it all turned out fine because we'll be at the Foundry tonight for this Mammoth show. But let's say you're in a similar situation where your Friday night plans imploded, or you're like, man, I still want to get to this Mammoth show tonight because this is a big, big band and it's in a small venue and it's going to be a lot of fun. I still have a handful of chances for you to win. So the first handful of prizes I'll give to you at top of the show today, we'll hand you off some Mammoth tickets too. So somebody, Rob, will be the last person to get into this show.
Yeah, I got to tell you, man, I was just over there. I got there at 11. Man, they were doing load in. I wanted to make sure I was there to see the tour manager and stuff. The amount of stuff that I helped them move because the guys weren't there yet, the hired hands. So, like, I was carrying mammoth cases.
You were a roadie.
I was.
You were like Gene Simmons, but you didn't pay
I didn't have to pay.
$13,000.
No, I just didn't have to pay.
You got it for free.
It was perfect. So the amount of stuff that's there, man. I posted some stuff to the Instagram story. But, dude, it is going to be incredible. It sounds so good in there. It is such a small room, 200 people. It's going to be, I cannot wait to get there.
Now, he's got a busy year. We're kind of ushering in Mammoth for 2025 at this Foundry thing tonight. But he's on the Creed Arena Tour. He's coming to play the Agora in November.
Yep.
Do we start giving people those tickets tonight at this show?
We are.
We are, okay. What do they have to do? Show us their preset?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. We're doing the get in line thing, and
we did this for St. Patty's Day. We had a lot of people because we had the brand new Buzzard shirts, St. Patty's Day shirts made up, and we were live at the Clevelander, and people were showing us the MMS presets they had in the iHeartRadio app, and that was how we gave them things, and that's how people are going to get those Mammoth tickets for the Agora show.
And that actually went on sale today. So if you want to buy yourself some tickets,
and I will have them for you all next week, by the way, as well. Also, Cannibal Corpse. I'll have those tickets next week. Those guys are at Sonic Temple. I'm missing Cannibal Corpse. And the Insane Clown Posse is tonight, too. They're going on like Metallica is doing their 2-night headliner thing. So tonight and Sunday night, Metallica are the headliners. And They go on the main stage around 8:30. Now, I don't know if they're going to play for longer than 90 minutes. It is a festival set. Those are traditionally shorter. But at 10 o'clock on the smallest stage, I think it's the smallest stage, ICP goes up there at 10 o'clock. So if you are going to Sonic, because I heard from our friend Leslie, who had never gone to like a stadium festival show before. So I was kind of talking back and forth with her, and she's like, the Juggalos and the Juggalettes, and people have been sending me photos from Sonic Temple. They are in full bloom, and I'm so happy to see it. You want to talk about a group of people who are body positive to the max? It's Juggalos. And Juggalettes, quite frankly, more so the Juggalettes. Nothing will stop them from showing up however they want to be dressed. Do you like seeing nipple stickers?
Yes.
They wear nipple stickers.
Yes.
Right. Now, a lot of times those nipples are down near their waist.
They're called pasties.
Hey, well, in old-timey parlance, sure, but I don't know what the Juggalettes call them.
Juggalos be trippin', yo.
They be trippin'. But ICP. Now, I'm going to see the Insane Clown Posse here. I'm not driving to Columbus to see them. I'm seeing them on Monday night at the Agora. And I can't wait. This is a big week, right? We got Foundry tonight. Mother's Day is Sunday, which I have largely whiffed. I'll be candid with you. I have largely whiffed Mother's Day. I forgot to send my mom flowers. She probably won't even notice, but I like to send them. My mother is, and I've talked about this too, lately, she is awash in flowers from a coterie of gentlemen callers. She's probably not even going to miss, but she's still my mother, and I traditionally will send her flowers. I have completely forgotten to do that. Other things have just been taking up my brain space. And then the Insane Clown Posse on Monday night. We're going to see Louis C.K. on Tuesday night at Hilarities. There's a lot going on, Rob.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot going on.
Thankfully for me, I'm only doing tonight. Like I don't have the ICP tickets. I never got the Louis C.K. tickets. I got nothing to do. This is going to be great.
Look at you. Now, because people are asking, it's just Mammoth.
It's just Mammoth.
There's no opening band. You're not going to stand there waiting through some band you don't care about.
Right.
It's just Mammoth playing. So doors at 6, show at 7.
Yeah, he's probably going to go about an hour, but I was talking to the tour manager, and he's like, but it's Wolf. He's like, if he wants to go too, he'll go too.
Yeah.
He's like, you just never know.
That's right. Speaking of being awash, I have been, as you might suspect, been awash in people sending me Pope memes. Because since the Pope, Chicago is the first American city to have chosen a Pope, people have been sending me all the memes. And most of them I've seen, not all of them. A lot of time, he'll be holding hot dogs in one hand and a bottle of Malort in the other. People joking that his prayer is going to be, "Oh, Malort." So it's a real new Pope who dis type situation there in Chicago. But I did like "Oh, Malort." That would be. And so everybody's making their jokes, and they're sending them to me. Of course, the funniest jokes are like the MAGA dolts who are calling him woke and a Marxist and all that kind of stuff. Okay, fine. Somebody pointed out that Chicago chose a Pope before the Bears got a quarterback who could pass for more than 4,000 yards in a season. But okay, that's a deep dive. Blues Brothers were also on a mission from God, for people who remember that movie. And they had a picture of, remember the super fans, that classic Duh Bears?
Yep.
It was Farley, and it was Smigel, and it was Mike Myers and George Wendt. Of course, that meme is Duh Prayers.
Duh Bears.
Right.
Duh Bears, 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 Bears.
And so he's holding up hot dogs, and he's holding up a bottle of Malort. And, of course, there's a television show called Chicago Hope. And they have changed that to the obvious Chicago Pope. Also, people said it sounds like a show that Jack Donaghy would have greenlit on 30 Rock. Remember, they're always doing like inside jokes of television programs on 30 Rock. They made a joke about MILF Island, and I think that actually became a show. I also, completely unrelated to the Pope memes, I got an email with an attachment from Phil where we are still being interrupted on the app by commercials.
Oh,
just
good.
In the middle of us talking. And
this is when we're live or in the podcast?
This is in the podcast.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
And so he sent me a clip of this. Oop, I'm sorry. I didn't even what's going on here? Why don't I hear that? Why don't I hear that?
I don't know.
That's very strange. I hope that's not what I have to contend with here.
They can't burn it. They definitely can't burn it. There was something with the...
4 skin-conscious categories: skincare, beauty, body care, and...
Just cuts right in, right? Now, she's describing 4 skincare categories. It sounds like she says foreskin categories.
Sure does.
So the timing on these things is, it's not only unfortunate because they still haven't figured out how to do this, but it's still happening there. And so we were cut in by foreskin. Foreskin.
They can't burn it. They definitely can't burn it. There was something with the...
4 skin-conscious categories:
Oh, my God.
skincare, beauty, body care, and...
Listen, we are all foreskin conscious around here, right? No Shar-Pays in this room.
Maybe they're going for the comedic effect. Maybe now it's not even that the app is just a piece of crap. It's that...
Let us handle the comedy.
Yeah,
all right?
please.
The digital team doesn't have to worry about it. Let us handle it. I still want to know why that isn't playing for me. I'd like to know.
Is it in the right program?
Oh, hold on. What is this?
Did it get switched?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Because somebody probably did something on this board yesterday or this morning or whatever.
Well, I reset it every morning, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Hold on. I'm going to have to reset Cat, too.
Does that put us off the air?
No.
Oh, cool.
I don't think so.
I
Hold
don't
on.
hear anything now.
Well, hold on. There we are. Is that us? Are we there? No?
Huh? You have to rerun that macro?
Let me see. Yeah?
Oh, boy.
Wait. Hold on. There.
Hello?
Hello? No.
Hello?
Not that one?
Hello?
No, hello?
I don't know. Are we on the air?
Yeah, I think so.
Are
we?
I don't know.
Hello?
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 But what about now? Oh, listen, there we go. Okay, that's a few minutes ago we were on.
Uh-huh.
Think we're on now?
I don't know.
What about now?
Let me see. Are we on now?
Streetsboro, 99 cents get you driving. Kia of Streetsboro. Kia of Streetsboro.com.
This May, the heat is on at Kia of Streetsboro. The savings are hotter than ever with only 99 cents down, 0% interest, and up to $5,000 over KBB for your trade. New 2025 Kias, including the Sportage, Telluride, and Forte, are all at Kia of Streetsboro and ready to roll. Stay cool and safe this May in your new ride from Kia of Streetsboro. Whether it's soccer practice, summer road trips, or daily commutes, we have the perfect vehicle for your busy life. 99 cents down, 0% interest, and up to $5K over Kelly Blue Book for your trade. Don't miss these deals. Fly into Kia of Streetsboro today, right off the turnpike, or seize the road at KiaofStreetsboro.com, where the thrill begins.
Kia of Streetsboro. Kia of Streetsboro.com.
See dealer for details. Call 330-756-1758. Expires 5/31/25.
At GetGo, we're bred to be different. Let us prove it with our new ancient grain ciabatta sandwiches. Choose from the Spicy Kickin' Chicken Club, the unique Turkey Reuben, or the BLT loaded with 6 strips of crispy bacon. Or maybe you're looking for something more bite-sized. Try our new moist, juicy chicken nuggets, available in 6, 10, or 20 pieces. Dipped in your favorite sauce, of course. GetGo Cafe and Market. Better believe it.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Thinking about buying your first home? Now, with Third Federal, you can buy your first home and pay no PMI. Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. Private mortgage insurance, or PMI, can cost thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. And you may not realize PMI doesn't protect you. It only protects the lender in case of default. But at Third Federal, you can buy a home with just 5% down and no PMI. Plus, first-time home buyers get $750 off a closing cost. So if you're thinking about buying your first home, go for it and visit thirdfederal.com.
Even before you find a home, lock in 6.50%, APR 6.56% on a 30-year fixed-rate purchase mortgage. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-3RD-FED today. APR reflects 15% down for $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restrictions apply. See conditions for closing cost coupon at thirdfederal.com/FTHB. Equal housing lender.
At Cleveland Clinic, the mission is to create a healthier world. So you give every life the best chance to thrive. You tackle health issues at the root of their cause. You go beyond your walls to make theirs a little safer. And when it's all said and done, you reinvest everything to keep bettering the world. For every care in the world, Cleveland Clinic.
Are you ready for the ultimate entertainment experience? It's all here, only with Spectrum TV Select. Popular apps are included: Disney Plus, Max, Peacock Premium, Paramount Plus, AMC Plus, and more. And live TV for sports, entertainment, and news. Enjoy across your devices no matter when or where you are. Get Spectrum TV Select and start streaming your favorites today. It's all here. Visit spectrum.com/entertainment. Restrictions apply.
When there's a problem with your plumbing, you need a fix fast and at your convenience, not ours. Hi, I'm Doug Jackson with Jackson Comfort. I've seen it all. From toys thrown down the toilet and clogged shower drains to broken water heaters and leaky faucets. At Jackson Comfort, we're home of the 1-hour appointment window. You simply pick the hour that works best for you, and we take care of the rest. Call or visit us online at jacksoncomfort.com because convenience is comfortable.
Celebrate springtime with award-winning Romeo's Pizza. Inside or outside, lunchtime, dinner time, late night, why settle for less when you can get a big 20% off your hometown Romeo's Pizza? Real Wisconsin cheese, authentic pepperoni, choose your own toppings or your favorite Romeo's specialty pizza, plus wings and more. It's now all 20% off any online order of $20 or more for a limited time. Romeo's Pizza, we're your pizza champions. Get 20% off at romeospizza.com today.
At Meijer, we work hard to bring more locally grown goodness to life with a farm-fresh selection of crisp vegetables and juicy, ready-to-eat fruit. Whether topping off kebabs on the grill or adding healthy color to a leafy green salad, your family will definitely enjoy the delicious taste of Meijer produce. Plus, you'll appreciate the selection and savings we have to offer. That's the fresh-picked good life, priced for real life. We work hard to make life a good deal better at Meijer.
Hey, it's Alan for Window Nation. May marks the start of rising temperatures. We already feel it. You can beat the heat with Window Nation's semi-annual sale, 60% off and a free entry door when you outfit your whole house with brand new Window Nation windows. Plus, no payments at all for 2 years. Their windows come with a lifetime warranty, made here in Northeast Ohio, so you're saving way into the future. Sale ends soon, so don't wait. You can get a fast, free estimate by calling 866-90-NATION, give them my name, or go to windownation.com. Window Nation, proud partner of the Cleveland Cavaliers.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code WEALTH to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code WEALTH for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code WEALTH for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Traffic.
From the Elk and Elk Traffic Center, for an injury lawyer dedicated to every client every day, call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. Had a couple of earlier accidents clear out. You're dealing with another wreck now in Elyria, Chestnut Ridge just east of Highway 301. You also have an exit ramp closed due to construction in Wickliffe. Route 2 westbound ramp to I-90 East. That's scheduled through 1 a.m. Monday morning. I'm Mike Ross from the Total Traffic Center.
This report is sponsored by the Ohio Department of Public Safety.
Roadside workers have lives and families, but when they're on the job, they put it all on the line to protect and serve us. Remember, they're not just roadside workers. Thank you for moving over and slowing down.
Brought to you by ODOT, USDOT, NHTSA, and ODPS.
Rock icons, unleashed and on stage.
What song is it you want to hear?
Introducing iHeartRadio's Classic Rock Live.
What a wonderful evening.
Your front row pass to rock's most iconic live recordings, all commercial free. Hear the boss sing to the rafters. Zeppelin set the stage on fire. And feel AC/DC bring the house down. Open your free iHeartRadio app, search Classic Rock Live, and make it a preset now.
If you find yourself breathless with constant laughter, congratulations. Now, could you tell us what show you're listening to? It sounds fun. This is the Alan Cox Show.
On 100.7 WMMS.
Underrated track from Soundgarden, in my estimation, called Holy Water. I was reading about a guy in Pennsylvania who got snatched because he took a whiz in the Holy Water. Sure. I mean, come on, man. We've got a hope from Chicago now. I mean, give me a break. Soundgarden finally getting into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, by the way. They are part of the class of 2025. Holy Water, second to last track on Bad Motor Finger, which is when people really started to pay attention to Soundgarden, because Rusty Cage and Outshined was all over MTV, and then they exploded after that when Super Unknown came out. But there's been some acrimony between the remaining members of Soundgarden and Chris Cornell's widow, because there was all this unreleased music that they had been fighting over. Obviously, the band wanted to put it out. I don't know that Vicky Cornell wanted to do that, but apparently they've all kissed and made up, and so they are going to put out this unreleased Soundgarden music. They're going to release a final album with the Chris Cornell voice tracks.
Man.
Of course, he will be. He died in 2017. He died there in Detroit. Essentially an accidental suicide. But I don't know how old the music is. That's the thing. I don't know how old those vocal tracks are. The remaining guys also in Soundgarden are a late addition to that Black Sabbath final show. So Matt Cameron and Kim Thale, and I think Ben Shepherd are going to be part of that too. Matt Cameron, to me, was arguably, in my mind, the most underrated drummer of the 1990s, because he just had a groove and a feel for odd time signatures that you didn't really hear a lot of people doing. I think Matt Cameron, he's been drumming for Pearl Jam now for a long time too, but when Soundgarden gets together, of course, he's behind the drums. I just think Matt Cameron is just an unbelievably creative and inventive drummer. But they will release that one more final Soundgarden album. The one that, I don't know if it was something they had been working on. I don't know if they found old Chris Cornell vocal tracks.
I thought that it said that it was something they had been working on.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, because I don't think it was leftovers based on what I was reading, but I could be wrong.
So they will get into, I have to imagine that's going to be an emotional evening for the guys in Soundgarden to not have Chris Cornell there when they get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That'll be on November the 8th. I think it happens in L.A. this year.
Yeah.
The Rock Hall inductions. You'll be able to watch it live, I think, on Disney+. They chop it up and they throw it on one of their other properties. I think Hulu will have it a couple months later, but they do it as a live stream now. So that Soundgarden, I don't know that they've mentioned an official release date, but Kim Thale was like, he goes, it's too, I didn't want to leave anything incomplete or unfinished like that. But they had to have conversations with Vicky Cornell about this. And, of course, their original bass player, Ben Shepherd, is not the original bass player for Soundgarden. It was a kid named Hiro Yamamoto, one of their buddies from Seattle. He'll be there, too. He will get inducted with the band in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Now, the more interesting part to me once they announce the bands is when they kind of breadcrumb the information out about who will induct each artist. Who's going to induct Cyndi Lauper? Who's going to induct Chubby Checker? Is Chubby Checker still alive?
Yes.
He is. Is he still chubby?
That I couldn't answer.
A lot of people have taken umbrage with that because Chubby Checker basically had one song. He had The Twist.
Yeah, 15 different versions of it.
Yeah. Well,
Let's twist again.
Yeah, his albums all had twist in the name, right?
Yeah.
They were all like, twisting with Chubby Checker. Let's twist. Slow twistin'.
Hey, man.
Pony Time, he did Pony Time, but that was a cover.
If you have a thing and it works, let's twist again.
Yes. Well, that was back when you could do that, right? You couldn't do that anymore. I mean, you think of the one-hit wonders of the past 20 years or 30 years. You know, they can still tour, but they're not, you know. Lou Bega wasn't putting out Mambo number 6.
No.
Mambo number 8.
He was so bad they skipped 1 through 4.
Yeah. People didn't pay attention until the 5th Mambo.
Yeah. You know, I got to be honest, maybe not a popular opinion. Let's Twist Again, better song than Twist.
Now, I don't know that I know Let's Twist Again. I thought Let's Twist Again was the name of an album that just had the twist on it. Oh, it was called Let's Twist Again. Was it Let's Twist Again?
No, Let's Twist Again, like we did last summer.
Is that what it is?
Yep.
Clap your hands. Oh, you're looking good. I'm going to sing my song. It won't take long. We're going to do the twist, and it goes like this. Come on, let's twist again, like we did last summer. Yeah, let's twist again, like we did.
Not only impressive to have squeezed every last bit of juice out of that pale fruit, but the twist itself was hella lame. The dance, right?
Oh, it was something for its time.
Anyone could have come up with that. He fell ass backwards into a pile of twist. Weird thing about Chubby Checker, Chubby, his given name.
Wow.
I'm kidding. His name was Ernest Evans.
Ooh, so scared, Chubby Wubby.
I wonder if the name was less about him being chubby and more about like, Ernest, could you please come to the blackboard? Uh-oh. Always had a boner.
But also, he
was just always at
he
semi.
had a chubby. Yeah. But even the twist was a cover. Like, we complain about people, or at least point out, you know, some people complain about people who get famous off of a cover. You know, I think that as any kind of artist, it would be exciting to have a hit, but also kind of deflating if your hit is somebody else's song, right? This band Orgy, who I think is at Sonic Temple this weekend, Orgy had a huge hit with New Order's Blue Monday. But that was a huge hit, but it wasn't their song.
Well, it's like you always say about Quiet Riot. Like, all their songs are somebody else's songs.
Half their catalog are Slade songs. Yeah, they're reworked for Gen X teenagers. And we loved it, right?
It's great.
Because we didn't know. You don't know where, if you're of a certain generation, you don't know it's a cover. You know, I was talking about Cyndi Lauper getting in Girls Just Want to Have Fun was a cover. A lot of people don't know that because the guy who wrote it and performed it a couple years earlier, not that many people had heard of him. And it was a completely different sounding song. She took it and made it her own. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of people have had hits on covers. But as an artist, that would be, you know, you'd love to have a hit that you wrote. You'd love to have a song that came out of your brain and millions of people identify with it. But Chubby Checker will get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Anyway, I was talking about Soundgarden, that music that they had, whatever state it exists in, they're going to release a final Soundgarden album. Again, that's another band I was a huge fan. I'm happy I got to see them before he died. I saw them when they reunited for Lollapalooza, and that was probably 15 years ago.
Yeah, I never got to see them. That was
great.
That one was a drag when he died.
Yeah, I took that one hard.
Yeah.
Harder than I thought I would.
That was a tough one.
I got money for it. It's $1,000, courtesy of the Buzzard Bookie. It's the first of 4 keywords today. They will be your last keywords of the week, and then we'll start it up again on Monday. So good luck.
This is your chance to bet with the Buzzard Bookie and win $1,000 now. Enter this nationwide keyword at WMMS.com. Money. That's money. Enter it now at WMMS.com.
Alan, you bailed on the guy who peed in the holy water. I did. I'm sorry. Right. There was a guy there in Pennsylvania who walks into St. Patrick Catholic Church. This is in York, Pennsylvania. This is one of these places where a lot of bands came out of because they want to get the hell out of York, PA. And like the band Fuel came from York. I think Poison came from York. The band Live came from York. York, PA is just in the middle of nowhere. Southeast PA. People want to get the hell out. They want to seek their fame and fortune. This guy didn't leave. He's just roaming around, peeing in the holy water font. Sometimes they'll opt for the baptismal font, which to me is funnier because you're going to dip a baby's head in that. And I don't know how frequently they drain the baptismal font. This guy was already a registered sex offender. Natch. 51-year-old Jesse Sokol walked in. And this is why we can't have nice things. A lot of people lament the fact that a long time ago, churches were always open, right? They were seen as safe havens. They were seen as sanctuaries. You could go in. People had more of a sense of maybe civic duty or things like where they wouldn't even think of desecrating a church. Now a lot of churches are locked because you got dickheads like this walking in and taking a whiz in the holy water. This church, New York, PA, was unlocked. St. Pat's Catholic Church. And somebody walked in and they found the guy. And he was peeing in the holy water.
That's unbelievable, man. Right?
I can't help but laugh, but because,
of all things.
Because that's considered, by the way, it's not just befouling the liquid. It's considered a desecration, right? The holy water. You dip your finger in, you put it to your forehead, and of course, with me, I'm like, it burns. Anytime, for a long time, when I would go home, I would still go with my mom to Mass, even though it meant nothing to me anymore. I would still go in deference to her. And just as a reflex, I would do the holy water. And then, of course, I stopped because I'm like, it's probably more insulting than anything else that this doesn't mean anything to me anymore, and I'm still doing it. And then they had the police come out, and then they had to contend with having and confirming that the holy water, in fact, did have urine in it.
Oh.
It's
so disgusting.
It is gross, but again, if you believe that water is blessed, then there's nothing that can defile it. How can basic human waste fluids overpower the holy water?
It can't. It cannot. But what I'm saying is I'm still getting pee on my hand and face.
Yeah, it's gross. And
gross.
That should be reserved for Tuesday nights.
That's right. And when I ask for it.
That's right. And I pay a little extra.
That's right. Chickpea.
Yeah. Garbanzo beans, we call them.
I love that joke.
What's the difference between a garbanzo bean and a chickpea?
I've never paid a or what is it? I screwed it up. I've never paid
to have a garbanzo bean on me.
That's what it was.
So this guy's got a big, long rap sheet and, criminal trespass. And, of course, he's a registered sex offender, probably because he's whipping it out and peeing it. That can get you registered as a sex offender.
Yep.
You don't have to be diddling kids. You get a particularly prickly law enforcement official coming up on you, you're having a whiz behind a tree, they can slap you with a sex offender thing.
Well, it was the other day we went to my daughter Callie. I was able to leave work and actually get to a weeknight game.
Yeah.
And it was at the high school.
This is lacrosse?
Lacrosse. And I had to pee so bad on the drive, right? And I'm like, oh, the bathrooms will be open it was at the actual high school stadium, right? So I get in there. My daughter Caitlin's with me. And I'm like, I have to pee so bad. So we go in the first bathroom is locked. And I'm like, Caitlin, I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, I'm going to have to leave and drive somewhere because I'm going to pee my pants. She goes, Dad, you're a boy. Just go into the woods and pee. I'm like, Caitlin, this is school property.
Yeah.
If I yank it out and pee, I'm going to jail and will be a sex offender for the rest of my life.
Wow.
Surrounded by students who aren't even 18 yet.
Right.
Yeah, good point.
And she's like, oh. And the other one was open, thank God. And I took like a 7-minute pee.
Oh, yeah.
Like the Austin Powers one. You think you're done?
Yeah, exactly.
Here comes some more. Yep. Oh. Oh, God almighty. Oh, my God.
Like that old Sandler bit.
Yeah.
Yep. It's when you get your Kegels working overtime.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, a little more. A little more. Oh, back at it.
Are you done? Yes.
No.
Oh, damn it.
A little
No,
more. Oh.
Yeah. This is me the other night, like after the funny bus, right? I'm
You
like,
just start shaking.
yeah, back at Collision Bend. I'm like, okay, I'll stand here, hands on hips.
Eventually, I'll run out.
That guy who's been singing me nasty songs left another one. You know that guy that's been calling and leaving me songs all week? I'm sure it's the same guy.
Yeah, they called you a
It's not
homosexual?
in every song, by the way.
Yeah.
Right.
Sounds like he is.
He calls me,
He
well, I
has a
don't know anything
crush
about
on
I don't even know
you.
who it is, but he always calls me a homosexual. Which, by the way, if I were, I'd be loud and proud about it. So that's hardly a slur as far as I'm concerned. But he leans into that. This was the one that he left earlier in the week.
It's such a stupid show.
Right.
Alan,
And then yesterday he was like, what, punch yourself in your own balls? That
Yeah.
was the one he left?
Yeah.
But when he said your own, that was the one that got me.
Your
Like,
own.
Punch yourself in the balls like 3 times. He's your own balls. Like, yes.
Mm-hmm. Not to be confused with anyone else's.
Right.
Oh, Alan, why don't you go punch yourself in the balls? Punch yourself in your own balls. Punch yourself.
Okay.
Hey, hippie, go cut your hair. I bet you got.
Is this the same guy or is it a copycat?
It
I can't tell.
Sounds like a different guy.
We'll have to see what he does with his
Hey,
vibrato.
hippie, go cut your hair. I bet you got poopy in your underwear. Oh, hippie, you'd probably hit me, you dumb hippie. Oh, Alan Cox, he's dumb as rocks. I can't believe they give him 4 hours on the clock every day. He sure looks gay. Hey, Alan, you're a homosexual.
See, it's got to be the
It's
same
gotta be
guy.
the same guy.
I don't know,
Because
man.
of the ending, though.
But it's
Otherwise-
all.
But
It's so.
I
It's
think
lucky,
He did a
lucky
good
for him, I don't
job,
get offended or
honestly.
insulted
Like-
by things.
Have we ever heard that guy break out a uke before? I might not be the same guy.
I don't know. It's either he's
I don't know. I feel like he
multi-talented. There's
killed it, though.
piano. There's ukulele.
Oh, Alan, you're sure.
I mean, that's piano. Yeah.
Sounds different.
Yeah, maybe so. Well, anyway,
Like you said, maybe a copycat.
maybe so. Oh, it's spreading like wildfire. If it is a copycat, they kept the same homosexual tag on it, though.
Well, I think that seems to be the general theme.
The melody is kind of similar, too, but...
Well, and it also sounds like he took a half a second to write lyrics. Those aren't coming off the top of his head, right? You got poopy in your underwear? That's, by the way, I don't, so joke's on you. Joke is on you, because I don't. Last time I checked, there's nothing in there. Yeah. Hey, how about the Black Keys? Want to go see the Black Keys? Dan Auerbach, Pat Carney. A T-shirt told me that they are from Akron, Ohio. And they're coming home to do a show with Gary Clark Jr., which is a very good lineup. And I'm going to throw you a pair of tickets to join us tonight. Last minute, last couple of pairs of tickets here for the Mammoth Show over at the Foundry, Wolfie Van Halen.
Oh, and speaking of that, if you win tickets, you're not going to hear from anyone in promotions.
Just come to the
Just
Foundry.
let them know. Just come to the Foundry. If you win these tickets, just drive there. See you tonight.
We'll have you on the list. But Black Keys, you will hear about. It is Friday, August 22nd out at Blossom with Gary Clark Jr. So we'll set you up for that show later this summer, and we'll see you tonight at Mammoth at the Foundry. Okay? So caller 10, good luck. 216-578-1007. Caller 10 or 800-348-1007.
The Alan Cox Show.
On 100.7 WMMS.
Weekdays on 100.7 WMMS and 24/7.
to hire, it seems like the whole process can be exhausting. You search resumes, wait for the right candidates to apply, set up initial interviews. It's a lot of time and work. Well, what if you could meet with qualified candidates for your job the very next day? Now you can with Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro is super easy to use. You simply pick a time, and it does all the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates for you. Then you can choose who you want to talk to and meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day. Best of all, you save time and energy.
Try Zip Intro for free right now at this exclusive web address, ziprecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro. Post jobs today, talk to qualified candidates tomorrow. Once again, go to ziprecruiter.com/free to try it for free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free.
From the all-new Avon Lake Rams Studios, we say yes.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
The Buzzard. The home of the Buzzard.
This is 100.7 WMMS.
Cleveland. Call the Alan Cox Show.
Thanks for turning me on and allowing me to spend this time with you. I hope I can turn you on.
216-578-1007 or 1-800-348-1007.
Cavaliers basketball live from Indianapolis tonight. Game 3. Cavs have yet to win one. They're going over the who's going to play and who's not going to play and who's still too hurt to play. They're going over that with a fine-toothed comb and hoping to set themselves up with the best-case scenario to try to get some of this this land grab from the Indiana Pacers, hoping to get some of that back. So Cavs-Pacers tonight. Cavs have really got to win here.
Oh, yeah.
Because they will be in Indianapolis for the next 2 games. 7:30 tonight, you will hear that here on the Buzzard. Your pregame begins around 7 o'clock. You can also listen on the iHeartRadio app. Guardians baseball, that's a 7:10 first pitch. They are here at home against the Philadelphia Phillies. Guardians game will be over there on WTAM 1100. What are they doing over there at Progressive Field tonight? Anything?
Is it like
City Connect Wear Night?
I love those jerseys.
They're pretty good.
By far the nicest in baseball.
The ceremonial first pitch from Cocoa Crisp. I used to have that when I was a kid. It would turn your milk brown.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the game tonight. Tomorrow night's game, Stephen Kwan City Connect Cap Night. Rolls right off the tongue.
Sure does.
Yeah. And they've got all kinds of stuff planned. Sunday is the third game in that series, of course. The national anthem will be sung Sunday evening by the Hawken Middle School String Ensemble. I like that a lot. And so, listen, all kinds of fun to be had. Tomorrow night is Armed Forces Night. I assume that's honoring one of the great albums from 38 Special. No? Monday is when they do Bark in the Park. That's when you can bring your dog, of course. It's presented by Milk-Bone.
And if you do, make sure you bring your poop bags, please.
Please.
Pick up
curb
after
your
yourself.
dog. I can't believe that stadiums still do Bark in the Park night. I mean, it's fun, for people who are able to curb their dog. A lot of people don't do that.
No, it's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think I've ever in my entire life left a dog turd when I was walking my dogs.
No, of course not.
Like, even if I was in a hurry. No, I don't think I have.
Well, it also depends on where you live, where you grew up, how you do those things. There are a lot of places where there isn't a lot of green space. If you're living in a city, it's like, friends of mine who live down here and they have dogs. I've lived in a high rise before and had a dog. You got to get them street level. You got to stand there conceivably at 3 a.m. and, pick up their poop or whatever. That's no fun. But it is a different kind of existence. You don't have a lot of green space. It's why a lot of the building they put up right next door, there's a dog park like on the roof.
Yeah.
Because you got to have it. You got to have a place for a dog to take a crap.
And there's one of those awesome daycare places right over there too. So if you live in that building, you can drop your dog at Dogtopia. They're great.
And, downtown Cleveland and the downtown area of a lot of major metropolitan areas, the dog poop, it is not indistinguishable from human poop. Downtown Cleveland's got a lot of human poop too.
Mm-hmm.
But to the eagle-eyed among us, if you're a dog owner, or if you're just a human who owns an ass, you can tell the difference. If you listen to us on the iHeartRadio app during this live broadcast and you do it from out of state, thank you, as always, for your continued diligence. It is certainly not easy to use that app. Always. James listens in Tampa, Florida. Sasha's in Portland, Oregon. Colleen is one of our bureau chiefs in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Right there in Gene Hackman's backyard. Right? Isn't that where they lived, Santa Fe?
Mm-hmm.
Ayumi listens out on Kona in Hawaii. Gilly is in Butler, Pennsylvania. And Chelsea is one of our Canadian bureau chiefs. She's in Peterborough, Ontario. Norm listens in Detroit. He's gay. He goes, hey, I completely believe, Alan, that if you were gay, you would own it. But it brings up the question, what kind of gay would you be? Pound Cake used to call you a zaddy, which I took as a compliment.
Not very much so.
But I don't know what category you'd fall into. I don't know. What are my options, I guess? That's a hard theoretical. Hey, who would you be if you liked naked men? That would be a different situation. I don't know. I barely know who I am as a heterosexual man. So that thought experiment is a little weird.
It's one of our many gay categories. We have our bears, our queens, our daddies, our sugar caddies, our maple smoked sausage patties, our Belgian waffles, and of course our six tops. Fun fact, those last four are just things that are in this room. But you believed me because you are stupid.
Wow, and what, pray tell, are you?
I'm a soft butch.
That's probably what I would be.
A soft butch?
I'd be a soft butch.
Yeah, for sure. I can, because you're not going to be, what do they call the bear, right?
I'm not going to be a bear.
You're not a twink.
I'm not hairy and fat enough.
You're not a twink.
No, yeah. I'm not hairless and thin enough and young enough. I don't know that you can be an old twink. I think fundamentally, twink is probably
for the young.
Very young, yes.
Trust me, gay is in, gay is hot. I want some gay it's going to be.
I don't know. I don't know what I would be. I would probably just be a garden variety gay guy. I don't think I'd have a hook, because those are kind of affectations too. I mean, you are very much committed to a category, and I think most gay dudes walking around are just guys, regular guys.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I never really thought about it.
I am not gay. I have relationships with women and sex with men.
And I got news for you. That means you're gay.
Mm-hmm. Maybe that would be me. I would have relationships with, well, that would mean that he's bisexual.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So listen, we got our first miracle from the Chicago Pope where his brother confirmed, in fact, that he was a Chicago White Sox fan.
Mm-hmm.
People loved sending this to me because the initial report on him was, despite growing up on the south side of Chicago in Dalton, Illinois, that he was a Cubs fan. Now, I didn't take umbrage with that because, first and foremost, Chicago is considered a Cubs city. But that's fine. The joke was there's no way that 133 Cardinals would have voted for a Cubs fan. Ha, ha, ha. St. Louis Cardinals, big rivalry. I get it. But his brother was on Channel 7 News there in Chicago, and they track him down, and they go, settle this once and for all, was your brother Pope Leo XIV. Imagine telling people, and obviously anyone who's ever been Pope, unless they were an only child, this has happened to them. It's not because he's from the United States. But imagine your brother is the Pope.
Yeah.
Hey, my brother's the Pope.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Oh, cool. What do you do? I'm a plumber.
Did you see the
I'm a junior high teacher.
Yeah.
Did I see what?
The video of his brother talking about him?
Yeah,
He's
that's what this is. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
It's
That's
Rob.
not true. That's not true. He's not a Cubs fan. That's not What true. is he? He's a Sox fan. What? They also said on the air that he was from South Holland. That's not true. Okay. It's Dalton. He's from Dalton, Yes. and he's a Sox fan, Yes. which makes more sense, really, when you think about it, given That's where, correct. where That's he correct. was. He's See, not a Cubs fan. The reason, I don't know where that came from, but our mother was Northsider. Okay. And all that side of the family is a Cubs fan. So maybe they heard that from someone else they may have interviewed, but he was definitely shocked. See him there again, standing on his own 2 feet. Okay. He didn't go along with the family. So- Because our dad was Cardinals. He's a
Ouch. His own dad was a Cardinals fan. So just imagine the short-lived, because Cubs fans, with respect, are insufferable. Because it takes nothing to be a Cubs fan, right? It's you live maybe in Lakeview there. You go to the games. It's girls in pink jerseys, and it's very whatever. That's fine.
The Cubs, you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So it's like the hip team to be part of, and there are Cubs fans around the country because the games were aired on WGN, which was a superstation, and so that's why there are so many Cubs fans around the country. They just attach themselves to that team. That's fine. It takes a lot to be a White Sox fan. So it's kind of a cheap heat to be a Cubs fan. But what a short-lived time in that initial sunlight of them hearing that the Pope is a Cubs fan. By the way, there were probably plenty of Cubs fans who couldn't give a rat's ass about the Pope, but they were super, super excited, that the Pope was a Cubs fan. Well, he is, in fact, not.
Womp, 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 womp.
Well, womp, womp. Listen, again, like I said yesterday, the Pope is entirely irrelevant to me. His only relevance to me was not as the vicar of Christ, not as the pontiff, but as a White Sox fan. And as soon as they said he wasn't, he was relegated in my mind to the ether. But now he is back in my good graces. Now the red Prada is on the other foot. I guess that was Benny 1-6, wasn't it?
Yep.
The Nazi Pope was the one who liked the red Prada shoes. The guy who quit. Is he dead now? Is Benedict dead?
Yeah.
Yeah, he died. Okay. And so, Pope Leo the 14th is back in my good graces as a White Sox fan.
I'm sure he's thrilled.
That he's in my good graces.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he lost sleep. He heard Alan Cox was upset with him. He was a Cubs fan. You know what it probably was? I bet you he heard that you were upset. He called his brother and said, "Can you do an interview and just clear things up, please? I got a guy in Cleveland, this guy Alan Cox, very upset thinking I'm a Cubs fan. Can you please clear this up for me, brother?"
Rob, I can't help but think that you are now making fun of me. I feel I'm sensing sarcasm in what you're saying.
I'm being serious.
I can see right through you.
How do you know, honestly, a man from Chicago, how do you know that this man doesn't know you?
Why would he?
Why wouldn't he? Maybe he's a big fan of your show.
It's a huge city.
Maybe he knew your show.
Mm-mm.
Well, you're saying no. See, that's just as dismissive.
No. Nope.
Brother, please.
I'll tell you what, more interesting to me was one of the priests that had been in Rome for the conclave was Father Robert Sirico, brother of Tony Sirico, who's the late actor who played Paulie Walnuts on The Sopranos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's not bad at all.
No, they actually they talked a lot about. Did you watch Lilyhammer?
I couldn't get into it. I watched the first couple of episodes with Steven Van Zandt.
I loved it.
That was the first Netflix original show.
Yeah, it was. I really enjoyed it, but I was also coming off that Sopranos high too, right? So, but I did like it. Paulie's in it and plays a priest, and that was the whole thing. Is he did it, and they're like, "Well, you seem pretty believable." He's like, "Yeah, my brother's a priest."
Oh, I never heard that. Okay.
Yeah.
So the older brother of the late Tony Sirico is Father Robert Sirico. From, I don't know, the Archdiocese of, where is he from? Flatbush, Brooklyn? Something like that. And he was there as a part of the conclave. Not somebody who was voting, because that's relegated to the Cardinals. He's just a priest. But, he was part of the whole thing. I have to assume that when the conclave, and it's all Cardinals, the priests, in the hierarchy, the priests are just guys running around probably taking lunch orders and stuff.
They're in the crowd. Like you saw.
They're in the crowd.
There was so many of them just standing there watching everything.
Yeah. Out there applauding. They're like, hey, there's a new pope. Hey, put your hands together for the new pope, everybody. It's exciting. I mean, Tony Sirico, he had a very, very checkered past. Like in real life.
Yeah.
Every time they cast one of these mob shows, you see a lot of the same faces. Because these were guys who were like real wise guys.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Back in the day. And so whoever was casting these movies, so you'll see some of these guys that were in The Sopranos, a lot of them as like younger guys had been actors for a minute. You'd see him like in a tiny role in The Godfather, or just along the way, all these kind of, fictionalized mafia sign points, movies and TV shows. You'd see a lot of the same faces.
Yeah, Paulie was in Goodfellas. He's in the opening scene of Goodfellas. He's standing outside.
So is the guy that played Phil Leotardo.
Yep.
He's Billy Batts, right? They beat the hell out of him on the
Kills him, yeah.
Floor of the bar.
Looks like a friend of ours.
Yep.
The dog.
So Tony Sirico, he was on the wrong side of the law, and his brother was on the, well, I hesitate to say the right side, but I mean, he was on the Jesus side of things, I guess.
Could you imagine, like, that's your brother, right? You're trying to be supportive. You're a priest.
Oh, you're Tony, Paulie Walnuts is your brother.
Right.
Yeah.
And you watch an episode and you're just like, oh, my God. Like, I got to say a prayer for my brother.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Paulie went after it, man.
Yeah, but even if your brother wasn't a petty thief or a criminal or whatever, you conceivably would still be saying prayers for him, right? I mean.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
He's very...
You wouldn't want any harm to befall your brother.
Correct.
You'd want to get him on the right side of things. Yeah, he was in Godfather 2. He was in Goodfellas. 28 arrests over the course of his life before he started acting. Robbery, assault, gun possession. He was the real deal.
I need a new career. Go ahead and become a actor.
Well, because you probably figure a lot of those guys are brought on as consultants for these mob movies, right? That's not if you're going to make a Goodfellas or a Godfather or something like that, that's not something that you can like half-ass. Because that's why the running joke in The Sopranos is that these guys would always refer to the Godfather. They'd be like, was that in 1 or 2?
Yeah.
Because it was canon to them. That's why I love the movie Donnie Brasco. Because it's not, I don't think that's a mob movie. Or is it? Oh, it is a mob movie.
Oh, yeah, very
right,
much so, yeah.
Donnie Brasco.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember. But it's an undercover cop movie or whatever. I love Donnie Brasco.
That's a great movie.
Yeah.
Great movie. Yeah, in Silvio in The Sopranos, Van Zandt again, he would always do the Michael line. Tony would be like, come on, do it. Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Yeah.
It's uncanny. Look at him.
There's some guy who's going viral on TikTok because he sounds like a Sopranos character. I think it's just a Jersey guy, but it is funny. His kid is talking to him about getting coffee for his mom.
What are you doing?
I'm buying your mother coffee.
Dad, give me ice cream.
Take the ice. Don't worry about it. Look, but I want to teach you something. You order coffee, no ice, right? $5.
What do you do with the rest?
What do you mean, what I do? Look, it's overflowing. I got 2 coffees. Your mother's happy. I'm happy.
I guess that's his coffee hack.
Love it.
You get 1 coffee, no ice, and then you ask for 2 cups of ice. And then you pour the coffee into the ice cups.
Until they start charging you for the cups.
You got 2 iced coffees for the price of 1. Hey, what a hack.
Everybody with these hacks.
Hey, that's a life hack. You mean a way to cheat?
Right.
An already unfair system? Yes, I applaud. Why should everybody else be the ones taking advantage of things? You get on there. Take advantage. So the Pope's brother, confirming, in fact, that he is a White Sox fan, just kind of correcting the record on some things. They are a family from Dalton, Illinois, which is still south side of Chicago, but they are not from, he said they were saying they were from somewhere else, Blue Island or something like that. Of course, over on the MAGA side, they are absolutely melting down over the Pope, calling him every possible slur they can, which is not a shock. That is 0% surprising. The Pope stands for everything they hate. Caring for the poor and the sick and the plight of immigrants, and they don't like that stuff at all. They'll still pretend to be Christians, of course, but they can't stand that stuff, and so they don't want anything to do with it. They don't like to be reminded of how profoundly sociopathic they are. And so when the Pope, because people are starting to collect some of his old tweets, or even recent tweets where he's like, J.D. Vance is wrong. You know, we don't put people in a hierarchy of things. There aren't certain people we're supposed to take care of and other people that we're not supposed to take care of. So a lot of those people are freaking out over the Pope.
They know that Trump is poop. They know it. They know that Trump is a diarrhea poop.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. Indeed.
Everybody's got thoughts. Even Brian's got thoughts.
You know what I say? Let's see what Jesus has to say. I got a radio outside and it blasted from 2 churches, so be prepared for that.
He's cracking himself up. Hey, he's got 2 radios blasting outside of church. As long as you're not taking a whiz in the holy water, Brian. We already got a guy out there doing that. Don't do that.
Sound like Brian might have had a couple the other night.
Maybe. I don't know. He wanted to throw in his thoughts on the Pope. And that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's got their thoughts. Did the Cardinals play rock, paper, scissors to get a Pope? Jack wants to know.
Yes, that's exactly what they do, Jack.
Well, I got to tell you, though, wasn't it the 3rd round? I mean, this guy went faster than Shadur Sanders. I think it was just the 3rd round of voting where they chose a Pope, because there have been years where that conclave goes on a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, the movie conclave, took long. If you were to extrapolate out the time that they took in that movie. So, yes. I think this proves unequivocally that God, if he exists, hates the White Sox, this person says. Paulie Walnut's real mom was a nun. The woman, wait, what? The woman who raised him in the show was his aunt? Oh, you're talking about in the show? That's from the show. That's right.
Yeah, it's one of the funniest lines in the entire show when he finds out. And he goes to tell, I think he tells Tony. And he goes, Ma's not Ma. And he goes, what? And then he has to explain the whole story. But it goes, Ma's not Ma. My Ma's not Ma. Watch it, Chrissy.
Alan, you would be a Neil Patrick Harris type of gay guy. I don't know what that means.
Oh.
You mean like Barney from How I Met Your Mother? Or in
yeah.
Harold and Kumar? That kind of Neil Patrick Harris? Love NPH.
I think he means like just a standard straight-ahead gay guy, like you were saying about yourself.
Yeah.
Like Neil Patrick Harris isn't overly flamboyant. He's just...
Right. A regular guy.
Regular guy.
Keeps himself in good shape. He's in gay shape. That's the way in which I am gay. I try to keep myself in gay shape.
Gay!
They did him dirty in Gone Girl, though. You got to love NPH. But yeah, I would. So there's my answer, Norm, in Detroit. I would be... I don't know. I try to keep as a heterosexual man, try to keep myself in gay shape.
You homosexual!
When that guy's not singing me songs, he is really screaming something else at me. Speaking of screaming, you want to go see Breaking Benjamin? Another band that needed to break out of Pennsylvania. I love these guys. They're co-headlining with Stained. It's the Awaken the Fallen tour. Wage War and Lakeview are rounding out the lineup. It's going to happen. It's like a week from Monday. It's the 19th. It's right around the corner out at Blossom. I'll throw you tickets for that. I will get you in tonight to join us at the Foundry. Last minute here. Still a couple of spots to fill to see Mammoth, Wolfie Van Halen's band. So 2 for Mammoth tonight. Just go to the Foundry. We'll have you on a list. But we'll set you up for Breaking Benjamin and Stained. Caller 10, good luck. 216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.
It's the Alan Cox Show.
Everywhere on our free iHeartRadio app or whatever smart device you have.
Just tell me to And make it a preset now.
Yeah, it seems a little unfair that you can watch our live stream, but we can't see you. But we'll fix that tonight. Outside your window.
The Alan Cox Show.
On 100.7 WMMS.
I'm bummed I'm going to miss Cannibal Corpse out at Sonic Temple. If you're headed down there, by the way, they're going on around 8:35 tonight. Maybe Metallica isn't for you. You know, Metallica, this entire M72 World Tour, they have been doing 2 headlining nights, and so they're bringing that to Sonic Temple. So that first of 2 headlining nights with Metallica is tonight, obviously, on that main stage. And the Cannibal Corpse is over on the Citadel stage if you're going down there. Now, we're not doing our metal show this week. 2 hours to midnight we usually do on Saturday nights. Off this week, but back next Saturday night. But this coming week, I will have Cannibal Corpse tickets for you. Maybe you're not going to Sonic Temple, but you still want to see them. 2 hours to midnight presenting Cannibal Corpse at the Agora with Municipal Waste and Fulci. All 3 bands, I think, are doing Sonic Temple as well. But September 23rd is that Cannibal Corpse show at the Agora. They were good enough for Ace Ventura. He was dancing to this song.
Is that the red or the white?
New England clam chowder. Is that the red or the white?
The white?
The white? Yes. Yes. So next week, tickets for Cannibal Corpse this fall at the Agora. Also, if you want to join us for week number 2 on the Cleveland Funny Bus, every Wednesday in May, I'm your host for the Funny Bus, which is a lot of fun. We had a great group this past Wednesday night. I will have tickets for you Monday and Tuesday. But you can go to funnybus.net if you want to score them for yourself because they usually sell out pretty quickly. We leave from Collision Bend. That ticket on the bus gets you a couple of drink tickets as well. Otherwise, it's BYOB. Do what you want to do. But Funny Bus tickets, we're doing this Mammoth show tonight at the Foundry, but Wolfie is coming back later in the fall to play the Agora with Miles Kennedy. You can start grabbing those tickets tonight if you got that iHeartRadio MMS preset on your phone. Right? We'll start giving people Mammoth tickets tonight.
Yeah, we're giving away 2 pairs tonight. One at the beginning of the show and one at the end of the show.
Okay. We're doing a movie screening for the last Mission Impossible chapter. It's called The Final Reckoning. This is part 2. That part 1 was like 3 years ago, I feel like. We're going to do an early screening of that. I got tickets for Mushroom Head Halloween. That, of course, is a local tradition. This year, the night after Halloween, November 1st at the Agora. And if you want to spend your Memorial Day weekend at the Cuyahoga County Fairgrounds, I will have Berea Rib Cook-Off tickets for you next week. The 26th annual.
Still have not gone to one.
Berea National Rib Cook-Off and beer. I went one year, but the ribs, Rob, had all cooked off. And it was just a pile of bones. Kat, you want to go to Cannibal Corpse with me?
I don't know.
That is
Maybe.
a no, Rob. That is her way of saying, I can't think of anything I want to do less than that. But if you give me a second, nope, still can't come up with anything I'd rather do less than that. But Cannibal Corpse tickets next week. Cavalier is here on the Buzzard tonight. Your pregame coverage begins straight up 7 o'clock and then 7:30. Cavs got to do something. They're 0-2 in this series against the Pacers. Games 3 and 4, of course, are right there in Indianapolis. So 7:30 is your tip-off tonight. They will play them again on Sunday.
Yeah, man.
And hopefully there will be a Game 5.
This is it, right? Like
This is it.
You cannot go down 0-3.
No.
And we still don't know who's playing.
Mm-hmm. Don't know.
Scurry.
Speaking of Metallica, who are headlining tonight, they just played on Wednesday night. They played Virginia Tech, and they created some seismic activity. They're calling it, this is what's making the headlines, is they're calling it the Metallica Quake. They played at Virginia Tech's football stadium. Enter Sandman has been the longtime entrance music for the Virginia Tech football team. So they played Lane Stadium, and they created a small earthquake there in Blacksburg, Virginia. 65,000 people at the Metallica concert.
That's epic.
They closed the show, I think kind of trolling people. They closed the show thank you so much, good night, without having played Enter Sandman. And so then the crowd was abuzz when they came back and the lights came down and the stage lights came up and they started playing Enter Sandman. And so everybody's jumping up and down, and they had some seismic readings from the show. Say what you want about Metallica. These guys, there are not many bands putting on those kinds of shows.
Listen to how good he still sounds, dude.
Yeah, he does.
I will never say a bad word about that band, dude. I love Metallica.
I do, too.
Always have.
Yep. Yes, indeed. So a small earthquake there in Blacksburg, Virginia, after they play Virginia Tech. And tonight, night one of their two-night headlining run there at Sonic Temple, if you're going down later on. Rob Zombie will open for them tonight, and then Alice in Chains will open for them on Sunday.
What's your favorite Metallica song? Don't think about it.
Creeping Death is pretty goddamn good. I know
Yes.
that feels like low-hanging fruit. I was trying to think of something a bit more obscure.
Nope.
Not to be cool, but there's got to be a song that I really, really love that maybe isn't. I love Fight Fire with Fire.
Yes. Hit the Lights is mine.
Hit the Lights, yeah. I mean, that early Metallica, there just isn't a bad song.
No.
I mean, I started to peel away. Again, my entire life as a kid was Van Halen until Metallica. And then my whole life was Metallica. I started to peel away from Metallica, probably when a lot of people did, probably Load.
So you made it through the Black Album. You were cool with that.
Well,
I know a lot of people got pissed off at that one.
I didn't get pissed off because I understood what they were doing. They had hit a ceiling with what they were doing, and if you paid attention, I mean, And Justice for All was, every one of their albums felt like a quantum leap.
Yeah.
And so by the time the Black Album came out, we were more shocked than anything else because to our ears, Metallica on the Black Album might as well have been disco.
Yeah, it was just so much different.
I remember getting it on cassette from Sam Goody or Musicland or something that, you used to get it at midnight. They used to drop albums on Tuesdays for whatever reason. It had something to do with distribution and shipping. Now new music comes out on Fridays. But it used to be Tuesday nights. And my brother and I stood in line and got the Black Album and then sat on the hood of his car and played it through the stereo. And we were sitting there just looking at each other going, what is this? Like Enter Sandman, it was so slick. Now, obviously, we've all heard it 4 million times. They were smarter than any of us knew because that ended up being still their biggest album ever. Yeah. So it did what they wanted it to do, which was introduce them to an entirely new audience.
Yep.
But I started to peel away, not because I was being a purist about Metallica. There were just other bands for me that started to fill that void. Lamb of God was one, and they were just, even before that, Load was mid-90s. There were just other bands I was starting to listen to that obviously had been influenced by Metallica, but were doing more of what I wanted to hear. Now, when they did Death Magnetic, which I don't think a lot of people like I didn't mind Saint Anger. A lot of people hated Saint Anger because of the snare. And I'm a drummer, so it's like if that should have driven anybody nuts, it should have been me. I thought it was a little bit whack because it was like their Pro Tools record. I'm like, Lars can't play like that anymore.
Right.
But I also understood what they were trying to do. So I like Saint Anger. I love Death Magnetic. That to me was a throwback record for them. And I think a lot of people ignored Death Magnetic. But I will always love Metallica.
I'm the same.
Yeah.
I am the I see, I like the Black Album right out of the gate because I knew they told us they were going down a different road. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you never know what that means either. I mean, once you got to side 2 and it was like Through the Never, and I was like, okay, listen, yes. But that very first listen of any album, it felt like such a departure. I was like, I vividly remember my brother and I listening to Enter Sandman going, what is this?
Yeah. Yeah, it was just
what
so
are
clean,
they doing?
Right? Overly produced,
a new
clean.
producer, and yeah, I mean, I understand what they were doing, but I'm like, this might be where we part company.
I don't know if I've ever heard a louder noise or felt sound as much as Lars's kick drum when the song Enter Sandman, and he just we were right in the front, and it just, oh my God, almost knocked you over.
Yeah, so I know people, and it's a generational thing partly too. I know that there are some people who are largely dismissive of Metallica, but I feel like they're being dismissive of maybe what they've done over the last 20 years. If you go back to the first offerings for Metallica, there was nobody doing it better.
No.
There were other bands that sounded like them, but for whatever reason, Metallica just jumped out at you. And they'll always have that. That is always them, what they did, right?
And every incarnation of that band too, right? Like there's been 3 completely different sounds for that band with different bassists too.
Yeah.
You know? The Cliff stuff, and then everything changed with Jason. I do like Robert though.
Rob Trujillo's great.
He's the longest running bassist in Metallica.
Been in the band for 23 years, maybe.
And you want
long
it
time.
Oh, the new guy. He's like, oh Jesus.
Well, right.
You know.
Yeah. So, those guys are headlining Sonic Temple tonight. They will do Sunday night as well. And we were talking about the story that everybody's kind of been paying attention to, not only here in Ohio, just because, visually it was striking. Was Chewy the raccoon with the lady's meth pipe?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Let me give away this money first, then we'll get into Chewy here. It is $1,000, courtesy of the Buzzard Bookie. Last couple of keywords this afternoon, and then we'll start it up again on Monday. So listen closely. Good luck.
This is your chance to bet with the Buzzard Bookie and win $1,000 now. Enter this nationwide keyword at WMMS.com. Win. That's win. Enter it now at WMMS.com.
So we showed you this a couple of days ago. This woman, 55-year-old woman there in Akron, had gotten stopped for a traffic violation or something, and the cops come up, and the car is just, it looks just gutted. It looks like she bought an old, I don't know what it looks like. Like there's no side panels on the inside, and it's just filled with junk. And her pet raccoon was at her feet, the raccoon named Chewy. And the photo that really blew this story up nationwide was it was holding her meth pipe in its mouth. And everybody kind of had a good larf over that, and they take it. But the question everybody's got is, what's going to happen to Chewy? And they're trying to find him a new home.
You probably don't want to know what's going to happen to Chewy.
Right. He's going to quietly make a nice pair of gloves.
Yeah, Chewy
Maybe he'll go to a sanctuary.
For an upcoming Ohio winter.
That's what they're going to tell you. Yeah, he went to a sanctuary. Meanwhile,
Chewy was sitting there in the driver's seat with a meth pipe in his mouth. He dug a hole through a sheets bag that was on the driver's seat and ended up finding 7 bags of meth, finding crack cocaine. I mean, when this lady parties, she parties.
Clearly.
And 3 used glass meth pipes. And Chewy got his little trash panda lips on one of them.
Hey, man, meth ain't that bad.
And so we played the audio and the video. That officer, one of them, he thought it was hilarious. So they're trying to find a new home for Chewy. So again, not to put too fine a point on it, welcome to Ohio, where if you are a raccoon with a meth pipe, we're going to find you a new place to live. If you are a human in Ohio, in the throes of addiction, you're on your own. You suck, and good luck out there, but I guess it's your fault for not being a viral raccoon. A raccoon that doesn't have a meth problem, it was just holding a meth pipe, accidentally. So they said that Chewy will be rehomed. Now, what I would love for them to find out is that it wasn't coincidental. That Chewy has a massive methamphetamine problem.
That'd be so great.
I would love, they rehome him or somebody, they take him to a sanctuary. Let's say that. All the paperwork is in order. And after a couple days, they determine that Chewy has Trojan horsed his way into some kind of facility, Rob.
Yep.
And he is a tweaker of the highest order.
Just burns down his meth house.
Everything.
You're like, oh my God, it was Chewy all along.
All along.
It's like Kaiser Soze of raccoons.
He was pulling the strings for the 55-year-old lady there in Akron. she was only a means of getting him from point A to point B, from supplier to distributor. She had to drive. Chewy can't drive. So he casts himself, or I shouldn't say he does, we have passively cast him as like, oh, this cute animal who doesn't know. Poor Chewy.
You tell that officer, I am your pet. Do you understand me? You don't want to see me angry again, do you?
It's sad to see someone in that condition with that addiction, the officer said. But obviously, we want to make sure that the raccoon gets help. Yes! Welcome to Ohio again, where raccoons get help if you're a human with, a state that was hollowed out by opioid addiction. But by all means, let's take care of the raccoon. They don't believe he was able to ingest any meth, as it was stored in a sunglass case. Yeah, it's not like he was actually actively smoking, but you also gotta think that maybe there was some residual. And it's not like raccoons are chill to begin with. There was Cocaine Bear. Mm-hmm. Now there's Meth Raccoon. I would love for them to find out that, this is going to be a much bigger situation than we had anticipated. And they say, well, the pipes didn't have any residue. Come on. Come on.
Come on. You can say it. We already know.
Now, there's also the issue of it is not legal to own a raccoon in Ohio. So I can't. So this woman, when they first started talking to her, and I don't think she realized initially the kind of trouble she was in because she's a meth head and might not have the best grasp on the situation at hand. And she was trying to explain to them that, Chewy's my pet, and he was on the floor because he was riding between my feet. But betwixt her feet. Drugs aside, they would have been like, well, it's not legal to own a raccoon in the state of Ohio. Least of all, a raccoon smoking meth. Alan, anything after Master of Puppets sucks.
Oh, you're an idiot.
See, I think And Justice for All is a great
So
album.
good.
Yeah, that's like a high watermark for them.
Anything after. Stop it.
Well, I think that's a little early. But, again, I didn't care for Load. I absolutely didn't care for Reload.
I was down for all of it.
They were kind of I listened to them, but it was, and I have all of them, but it's like these, I knew those weren't ones that were going to, they weren't repeat listening for me. If somebody goes, let's listen to Metallica, I'm always going to go for those first 3 or 4 albums.
Of course.
But the others, Insanity and Harvester of Sorrow and Hit the Lights and Motor Breath and all that kind of stuff.
I even thought when they came back with Hardwired to Self-Destruct, it was good.
It's okay. I think my problem with some of their stuff over the past 20 years it's very indulgent, which is fine because they've earned it, but I'm not always going to stick around for it. I don't need a 9-minute song with 4 solos in it and Lars like pretending to do triplets and, they've kind of settled into a sound now. But you can't take their catalog away from them. You can do Hit the Lights and Creeping Death and all that, and people are going to be, yes, I'm with you every step of the way. I will sit through Fixer if you're going to do Hit the Lights, right? Or Motor Breath or whatever.
Were you good with Garage Inc.?
Love Garage Inc.
Yep.
I love the covers. They do a lot of their covers are better than the friggin' original. So, yeah, I love all that stuff. But Death Magnetic was kind of where they re-hooked me. Because I was like, man, this is good. And those are long songs, too. But it just felt like, and I mean, that album's 15 years old, right? I was like, that, Death Magnetic felt like a throwback to me. Alan, it is legal to own a raccoon. You just need a permit for it.
Okay. Everybody's got to get theirs.
Need a taste.
Everybody needs a taste.
Also being told there is a movie called Crack-Coon. Yeah, well, after Cocaine Bear, right? I mean, they worked backwards with Crack-Coon.
Yeah.
Well, now I want to see it.
I do not.
Somebody's got a great
funny.
thought on this. We talked a while back down in Danville where they have that big raccoon dinner. They're going to spear it. He's unfortunately already named Chewy. You don't think they're going to send him down for the raccoon dinner?
Fair.
Oh, come on.
I think that's where he's headed.
Yeah. Lights out, Chewy.
Thanks for playing.
Danville, Ohio, at St. Luke's Community Center. They've done it for 82 years. We talked about this back in February because it's a big, big deal. They serve 500 pounds of fried and roasted raccoon, mashed potatoes, cornbread, vegetables, and then you get water, milk, or coffee.
I thought we were going.
I'd like to, but I don't remember when it is. First line of the article, the smell is unforgettable.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it happens in February, so we got to go in 2026. Yeah. We're going to have to go back down to Danville and get our fill of Chewy. Maybe we could buy Chewy, and maybe it's BYOR. And we could we could take him down there. Man. All right, I got to take a break. You want to send me a text, 35192. Email me for anything at alancoxshow.com. You can watch live on our YouTube channel. And you can listen anywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
The Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS.
What are your best bets? I like the under.
Pick the money line.
Stay away from this one.
Always bet on Buzzard.
I like that bet. I think that's a smart move.
With the Buzzard Bookie, get an earful of MMS.
That's a win. I take that all day.
And maybe a pocket full of cash.
And parlay that into something else.
You can't lose. There's 9 chances a day every weekday to win $1,000.
Lay your bets.
The Buzzard Bookie on 100.7 WMMS.
Sponsored by Premier Home Pros.
Premier Home Pros are the pros in bathroom remodels. Fast, high quality, and hassle-free. Go to premier-homepros.com and tell them you heard it on the radio to get a special offer of $2,000 off your dream bathroom. That's premier-home
a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
From the all-new Avon Lake Jeep Studios, we say yes.
The buzzer.
The home of the buzzard.
Buzzer. This is 100.7 WMMS.
Cleveland. Call the Alan Cox Show.
Eat that, you piece of crap.
216-578-1007 or 1-800-348-1007.
$35192. Want to send me a text? That new Sleep Token album finally dropped this morning. They've been dribbing and drabbing songs for the last couple of months. A lot of people waiting with bated breath. That entire tour sold out, by the way. They are coming to Cleveland. If you're a Sleep Token fan, they're going to play Rocket Arena on September 27th. I would have to think there's a chance that I will have more tickets to give away for that show, but I don't know. Your Cavaliers are in Indianapolis tonight, hoping to claw back something from the Pacers, who are up in this series 2 games to none. 7:30 is your tip-off tonight. 7 o'clock is when that pregame coverage will begin here on MMS and on the iHeartRadio app. Your Guardians game is going to happen over on WTAM 1100. That is a 7:10 first pitch. A homestand weekend against the Philadelphia Phillies. Both teams right now at 22-15. So a veritable clash of the Titans on Cleveland baseball, Cleveland basketball, the road there at the Gethsemane Center, or whatever the hell that's called. Gainsbourg Field. I'm thinking of that Sleep Token song. Whatever it's called. Alan, my mother had a pet raccoon in New York. His name was Joker.
Oh.
When he died, she had him taxidermied. And for the last 40 years, he's been on the living room wall.
Wow.
Scaring the crap out of people who didn't know he was there. Joker, I would think, a raccoon looks like it's got a little mask on. I would think you'd want to call him Riddler. If you're going for the Batman reference. Maybe the raccoon, when he was funny, Rob, was just a riot. Maybe that's why they called him Joker. Maybe he was just a little stinker.
Yeah, you might be on something.
Ruckus.
Always with the ruckus. Yeah. Alan, the new Sleep Token sounds like R&B for Tig Bitty Goth Girls. Yeah, Sleep Token is a very, very divisive band because it's basically... They do refer to them as a metal band, but there's way too many women into them to be a straight-ahead metal band. It's like a lot of R&B singing with every song kind of ends with, but it kind of ends with riffs and some gospel chopping on the drums. But everything else is kind of, they are, if nothing else, very, very inventive and interesting. But the more you listen to them, you go, yeah, this isn't really, visually they look like a metal band. But listen, that's what everybody wants, right? People want new and interesting things. People want genre-defying bands. And they are definitely that. Alan, since you have some experience with it, you could euthanize Chewy the raccoon by running it over with your car. Oh, yeah, I ran over there. I flattened that raccoon a while back. Oh, thanks for bringing up that memory, sir or madam. I flattened a raccoon.
Is that the first time you ever hit something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't think I was going to hit it because, there's like a turkey that stands in the middle of the road near where I live. And, but you don't know if he's going to dart or whatever. But there's been a lot of instances, I'm sure we've all had them, where you think you're going to hit something and you don't because it scurries away or it flies away or whatever. And so I thought that this raccoon, it was way too late for me to swerve or brake, but I just figured I would miss it. But raccoons are big.
Big.
This was on the way to it was in my neighborhood, and it went thump. Oh. And I had fur in my wheel. I was like, oh no, I crushed this thing.
You feel so bad too.
I didn't care about that. I was just like, well, you should. Well, what do you want from me? I'm driving in nature, right?
Did your daughter find out?
No, I didn't tell her. And by the time I had come back after work, somebody must have shoveled it up because it was gone.
I hit a squirrel once, and it was like getting onto a highway.
Yeah.
I felt I was sick to my stomach for like 2 days.
Aww. Really?
Yeah, I felt so bad. I didn't want to kill anything.
You're sweet. AC Coon Crusher this person is in. Yeah, no, I wouldn't. I'm not out there looking for animals to hit, by the way. But, and I think, by the way, the degree to which you feel terrible is directly proportionate to how large the animal is. If you hit a bird or something, whatever.
Or if it's a pet, like
people who
if
hit
it were
a deer.
cat
But you have an emotional attachment to
no,
that.
like not like even if you hit a pet that wasn't yours, like if it was a cat or a dog, I think people would feel a little bit worse than
a little bit.
We were coming
a lot of it.
A couple years ago. We were coming. I was driving up my street, and there was like a local squad car sitting there, and they were talking to this family on like the tree lawn. And there was clearly their dog had gotten hit because it was like covered. And this woman was like inconsolable, right? And so I'm just kind of going by real slow, but I felt awful for them. Yeah. Because they just lived a few houses down from me. I didn't know them, but I knew where they lived. And I guess the dog got out and just crossed the road at the wrong time. I don't know.
That's so sad.
I had a dog get hit that way, die.
Really?
Yeah.
Your own dog?
My dog, yeah.
Yeah, that sucks.
I'm sorry.
Black Lab. Name was Nino.
Mm-hmm.
First dog Melissa and I got together.
Aw.
Now, did you take that as any kind of, was that any kind of bad omen?
I don't know. I'm still married. 20 years this year. We'll see.
How
if we make 21, I guess I'll let you know.
How long into the relationship before you got the dog?
Well, I was living with a roommate, and I got the dog first, but she would kind of come around.
She inherited the dog.
Yeah, I mean,
when
it was a puppy. I mean, we were dating already, so it was a matter of time before she moved in. But yeah, I lived with a roommate, and I had the dog for maybe a few months. I don't know, 6 months.
Oh, you hadn't even had it a year yet, and it got hit.
No, he was he was over a year, but close. You know what I mean? It was in that.
Oh, so he was still a puppy. Oh, that's sad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not really. I mean, he's still a big blockhead black lab, so he wasn't really a puppy, but
not small.
Right. Puppy brained.
But how did it get out? Like just ran out and.
I was living in a duplex, and the guy who owned it was redoing the backyard. He put down hydro seed, so we had friends come over, and the dog wasn't supposed to go into the back while the grass was growing, obviously, right? So friends came over, they opened the door, he just ran out, and then he went around the front of the house and right into traffic.
Oh.
Wow!
Oh, I will start crying.
You lived on like a high traffic area, or what?
I was on a side street, but he just went running.
Wow!
So he ran out to the main road. Sucked.
Bummer.
Oh yeah, it's a drag.
Is 6 months long enough to get attached to a dog?
It was longer than 6 months.
Is 7 months long enough to get attached to a dog?
It was over a year.
I think so.
Is a year long enough to get attached to a dog?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I have my own story. Definitely.
Yeah. It was. Yeah. It sucked, man. He died.
Oh, good for you.
You had a dog get hit too, Kat?
No, but that died like young, and
like Julia Roberts in that movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he was like maybe 6 or 9 months. So yeah, under a year. You can definitely get attached.
But it wasn't your dog.
It was my dog. It just didn't get hit. That's not how it died.
How'd it die?
So
embarrassment?
No. When I was at school, my mom ended up giving the dog to the pet store, and we got home and we're like, where's the dog? And then we left to go get the dog back, and it contracted parvovirus.
Oh, yeah.
At the pet store, and then it died like a week later, but I was so attached to that dog. It slept with me every night.
My dog gets like kennel disease that dogs can get. Yeah. My dog, when I was in Pittsburgh, my ex-wife and I, it was the dog we got. She survived. But parvo, man,
yes.
They really got to get a battery of things to keep that from taking them.
Yeah, and he was a mini pincher, so when they're so small, they don't really have a fighting chance, and he didn't get his vaccines yet because he was so young. So that was my first dog ever, and that's how it ended. But anyway, I understand. But yeah, getting hit by a car is obviously a lot more... I maybe traumatizing because
it's a lot more intense
shocking.
than a dog getting sick.
Physical.
Dear Casey, this may seem to be a strange dedication request, but I'm quite sincere, and it'll mean a lot if you play it. Recently, there was a death in our family. He was a little dog named Snuggles, but he was most certainly a part of... Let's start again. From coming out of the record. Play the record, okay? Please. See, when you come out of those up-tempo goddamn numbers, man, it's impossible to make those transitions. And then you got to go into somebody dying, You know, they do this to me all the time. I don't know what the hell they do it for, but God damn it, if we can't come out of a slow record, I don't understand it. Is Don on the phone? Okay, I want a goddamn concerted effort to come out of a record that isn't a fucking up-tempo record every time I do a goddamn death dedication. Now, make it, and I also want to know what happened to the pictures I was supposed to see this week. This is last goddamn time. I want somebody to use his fucking brain to not come out of a goddamn record that is that's up tempo, and I got to talk about a fucking dog dying.
And now Casey Kasem's dead.
Up tempo number.
Coincidence?
Dun,
Maybe.
dun, dun.
Alan, I saw my dog get run over by a semi.
Oh boy, mine was a minivan, so
Oh, man.
he just kind of bounced off the minivan.
Did he stay? Obviously. I mean, it
Stay
sucks.
dead? Yes, he did.
No, I meant like the driver. Did he stay? Like,
No,
it
they
sucks
just
when they're
went.
hit and run.
It was. They just kept going.
Oh, wow, but you saw it. Dang.
Trouble
that's
is also
sad.
that everybody has to have a number set aside. I'm talking about the difference between a dog getting hit and cat. What you're talking about when a dog contracts something, because everybody has got to contend with what's my ceiling on this, right?
Oh yeah,
it's very expensive. What's my we've had cancer cut out of our dog.
Oh,
and
yeah, I get what you mean now.
You know what I mean? Like my downstairs neighbor, in many years ago, I first moved to Pittsburgh. She had 2 whippets. If you know what a whippet is, they're like in the greyhound family, I think. They're gorgeous dogs, but they're very spindly. And so those kinds of dogs are prone to things like hip dysplasia. And that can get very expensive, or renal failure, or things like that. You know, this person texts me, I spent $10,000 on my dog when she got cancer.
Yeah.
Now, I understand that. But
Wow.
most people aren't going to have that to do. And so they got to go, well, we're going to have her or him as long as we're going to have her or him. Because there's nothing we can do. We can't kick out no $10,000.
I was out walking with my brother, my mother, and my father in the country where we lived when I was a young man. And we were walking our dog. Along came a Camaro and took the dog out right in front of us all.
Ugh.
That memory lives in my mind forever.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, that
People
would,
suck.
boy. When you're a kid.
I thought he was going to break down, and then he ended with bye.
Bye.
So
Yeah,
it seemed like he was
people
okay.
suck.
Camaro.
I don't know. Like, do you think that most people know that they're hitting an animal and they're just, or maybe there's a percentage of people that don't know and they just keep going? But it's like, still, if you'd hear a thump, I feel like.
Well, you'd know if you hit a dog.
Exactly.
I mean, I certainly could tell when I hit that raccoon. I was like, whoa. Those are big animals.
Can you get like charged for that? Like
For hitting a
criminally?
raccoon?
No, hitting a
for like
pet
a dog,
leaving.
like a pet.
I don't think so. I mean,
Oh, I was just
an animal.
wondering.
It
Yeah,
is
I
an
figured.
animal. Yeah, it's incumbent on the owners to keep the animal sequestered.
Yeah,
I
so it's
mean.
not like they can get in trouble for a hit and run, is what I'm kind of.
I
getting
don't.
at.
I don't think so.
I don't think
Probably
so
not.
either.
That's sad.
Hey guys, Rob isn't especially sweet. Alan, you're just a total heartless dick. Later.
A total heartless dick. Hey, listen, thank you. You know what? It's so rare on this show, Rob, with all these people, well, not all these people, that guy leaving me songs, trying to insult me.
what was that in
It's
reference
so rare that, because you said, I'll get upset right now about your dog, and I go, you're so sweet. And he's saying, it's not that Rob's sweet, it's that I'm a total heartless dick. And I'm like, it's so rare that the audience, that I feel seen. And I appreciate that.
Oh, Alan, your show is such a stupid show. Alan, oh, Alan, you're a homosexual. Alan, how, Alan, just shut your mouth. Alan, it's the dumbest show without a doubt. You're homosexual.
Yeah, God.
That
bless.
just goes hard.
I mean, I don't feel seen there. Calling me a hippie, calling me a homosexual. Eric,
How's it going?
how are you, man?
Good. So this story involves a pet that this is way back, like in the 90s. So my buddy's mom had this really expensive, I think it was one of those Persian cats, or it was very expensive. Well, we were getting ready to go rabbit hunting one day, and in the midst of all that, someone accidentally let this cat out, but we didn't realize it till down the road, which I'll get to. So we're back about 300 yards off the house rabbit hunting in the thicket, and I'm not sure if you've ever rabbit hunted, but when something moves in the thicket and there's fur, you just shoot.
Oh, yeah.
So we saw the fur and we just shot. Well, we get over and we look. It ended up being the mom's cat.
Whoops.
So we're all freaking out, and I came up with a great idea. I said, you know what? Because if she knew we shot it, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. So now this is going to probably be a little bizarre, but we took it out to the road, and we had another buddy run it over with a car and leave it in the road so the mom thought that it got hit by a car.
No.
Hey, run it. You wanted the tire treads in the animal, Eric.
Yeah, so we didn't get in trouble for actually shooting it. So still to this day, hopefully she's not listening, but she thinks that it got run over by a car, but we actually shot it in the back field.
I mean, we have a very, very broad audience. So there's a non-zero chance, Eric, that she's going to hear this, and somebody's going to be getting a call. Hey, could you... So who drew the short straw, or did one of your friends volunteer? Who agreed to run over the dead cat?
We made my buddy we made the buddy whose mom it was. We were like, you have to do it because it's your cat.
Yeah, I see. Oh. Was he upset? Was he attached to the cat, or was his mom the primary?
He didn't really care about the cat, but she was definitely distraught, and we made sure nobody was there when she got home. But then he called us, and he said she was having a mental breakdown and everything, and we kind of felt bad, but in a way we really didn't.
Right, understood. It's like Stand By Me, but with a cat. I've never seen Stand By Me. I don't know if that's an apt analogy. Okay, thank you, Eric. Your secret is safe with me and my audience.
Thank you.
All right, there's
and you have
Eric.
to tell the story like in reverse to the mom if they ever found out. Because obviously you're going to get to the cat. You're going to bring it, give it a nice burial or something. It's full of bullet holes.
I know, right?
You'd be like, it wasn't dead yet, so the guy got out and shot it to put it down.
Yeah, it was a mission of mercy,
yeah,
Mom.
he just felt really bad, so he shot him because he was still alive.
Especially if they use a shotgun, it'd be just like all in pieces.
Nothing left of that
exactly.
cat. Just be fur everywhere. Where's my cat? I think something happened to it out back, Mom. I don't know. I'll go try to find out, but I'm not sure. I'm going to go get Jimmy's car.
It's flat.
Yeah, that is a flat cat.
Imagine having to run over your own cat.
Yeah, that would suck. Like
I hate cats, but that would be
you'd have to feel
vile.
The thump.
But it's already dead.
I know,
still,
but it's
still your cat.
I guess. I mean, it's already... There's no pet cemetery back there, right? I'm not going to go bury it. Sometimes dead is better.
But it's still your animal. And you're like, okay, I got to run this thing over now because I don't want to get caught for shooting it.
Yeah.
So now you got to take this cat. You have to physically drive over your animal. I could never do that.
Rob, I'll tell you, I've plowed over some kitties in my
Yeah, man. All right. Is it Friday already, man? I don't know.
Yeah. When I say kitty, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, all right, 407. It's... okay. Oh, you know what else they screwed up?
You time-stamped. It took me a second. 407. 4:07, everybody.
Oh,
on the mighty buzzer.
Yeah. 53 minutes to the top of the hour. 61 degrees outside.
Time and temp together every 15 minutes on the buzzer.
Got the new one from Bob Seger on the one. A while back, we were talking about the dude in South Carolina. One of our bureau chiefs in South Carolina sent me the story about the guy who opted for the firing squad, and boy, did they screw up. You think they'd get some it's South Carolina. Everybody there's armed. You can't find guys that are adept with a long gun. You got to get 3 scrubs that are just hanging around, because they're like, okay, this is a little dicey. There were a lot of states with capital punishment that had to get really creative in the wake of a lot of the lethal injection drugs being in short supply. And South Carolina is one, like in Utah, you can still opt to be hanged. There's a couple of states that still do that. South Carolina said, we're going to work the firing squad back into the mix, and this guy opted for it. Michael Motti was the guy. And they had a 3-person firing squad. So they put the guy there. They put a big old paper bullseye over his heart. The point is, get this guy dead fast. You know, there's issues of cruel and unusual punishment here. Now, I'm sure they apprised him of all this. They're like, hey, you know, but you think they'd find 3 guys that know what they're doing. The autopsy revealed only 2 wounds on the chest. One guy missed. Didn't even hit him.
How do you miss?
And none of the bullets hit his heart directly, which is exactly what's supposed to happen.
Oh.
They got his liver and other internal organs that allowed his heart to keep beating.
Oh, my God.
So he was in pain and suffering while he was still conscious. Now, there's a lot of people who couldn't care less about that. There are people who were like, this guy, whatever he did, I don't care. But that's not the point. The point is there's not supposed to be undue suffering on the part of someone who's being put to death. You want to die as quickly as possible.
So they have to go over and, like, hit him again?
I don't know what they did, but they have a doctor on site or whatever, and he's like, this is not something where he was going to die instantaneously. They're like, this guy, they bled out, I guess. So they had to notify the South Carolina Supreme Court that the execution was botched. He experienced excruciating conscious pain and suffering for about 60 seconds after he was shot. So he didn't die immediately. He died about a minute later.
Oof.
But this guy opted.
What did he do?
What did he do?
That's really going to gauge what, you know, if he suffered, like if I care or not.
I don't know if they
you get the death penalty. It had to be bad.
If they recap what he did, the story is largely about.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what he did.
You got to assume some kind of murder.
Well, a death penalty. I mean,
yeah. Yeah, let's screw it.
But they had reporters there that were writing about it. The target, which was white with a red bull's eye, was over his chest. When the shots were fired, he cried out, then started breathing heavily. But his heart wasn't hit. And nobody said that they heard or saw any ricochets or anything like that.
Imagine if he was wearing like a Target t-shirt, like he worked at Target. He had those all over the place. Nobody knew which one to shoot at.
Well, I guess somebody who was there said that they thought at the time that the target had been placed a little too low on his body. So they have a curtain. They pull the curtain. He's sitting down, and he's restrained. And they shoot him. And only 2 bullets in his body. They said that he breathed for about another 60 to 80 seconds before he took his final gasp. The report that he was alive and reacting longer than was intended or expected. So they botched the firing squad. I hope we can figure out a way to ensure this doesn't have to happen to anybody else, which is what they said there on the scene. But, okay. But he's dead. They did reach their end goal for him to be dead, and he is dead. Pantera still very much alive. Want to go see Pantera? Phil Anselmo, Rex Brown still in the mix. Zach Wilde and Charlie Benante rounding it out. They are on the heaviest tour of the summer. There's special guests Amon Amarth and Snafu, who are great too if you're not hip to them. It's going to happen Wednesday, July 23rd out at Blossom. 2 for Pantera, and we'll get you into tonight's Mammoth show, MMS invite only with Wolfie Van Halen's band at the Foundry in Old Brooklyn. You are going to get in just under the wire. So if you want to join us tonight, we'd love to have you. So we'll get you set up with Mammoth tonight. We'll have you on the list. You won't even have to worry about tickets. But we'll get you a couple for Pantera this July, okay? Caller 10. These are yours. Good luck. 216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.
It's the Alan Cox Show.
On our free iHeartRadio app and your favorite smart device. Just tell it to play the Alan Cox Show.
On iHeartRadio.
From the Mr. Hero Taste You Crave Weather Center.
WMMS weather.
Mostly clear skies overnight, 42 for a low. Sunshine Saturday and highs near 70. And for Mother's Day Sunday, sunny and highs again near 70.
This report is sponsored by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care.
Now through May 31st, purchase a set of 4 select Goodyear tires at Conrad's, and you can get an $80 rebate online or by mail. Now is a great time to think about your vehicle and a new set of Goodyear tires from Conrad's.
Hey there, it's Alan for Northeast Factory Direct. Let's talk about mattress.
Insert made for this mountain.
The Alan Cox Show.
Sure, you could listen to another show, but then how would you find the puppies we've buried in boxes around the city? 100.7 WMMS.
That's why that guy called me a total heartless dick. Now I
burying
get
puppies?
it. Now I get it. Well, I didn't say they were, it's still fine. 35192. Send me a text. I got more money for you here in about 7 or 8 minutes, courtesy of the Buzzard Bookie. It will be your second to last chance to win that $1,000 this week. 5:30 will be your last keyword, and then we'll start it all over again Monday morning with RMG. If you listen to us on iHeartRadio during the show, let me know where you do that. Timothy is out on Howard Beach in Queens. Brock's in Cumberland, Maryland. Bonnie listens down in Marietta, Georgia. She checked in a bit ago. Roman's in Seattle. Josh is down in Columbus. A lot of people in Columbus today have been sending me photos from Sonic Temple. A lot of ICP love down there.
Juggalos be tripping, yo.
Probably not like Pat's picture yesterday. Oh, my goodness. Woof.
Alan, I can't listen right now because I'm at Sonic Temple waiting to see Acid Bath. Oh, God, Acid Bath. They're on at 5:30 today if you're down there. But I wanted you to know that Juggalos be tripping, yo, has run through my head about 1,000 times since I got here because of all the Juggalos and Juggalettes walking around. I know I've been getting photos from some of them directly. And it's chilly, by the way. If you're headed down there, I would dress appropriately because last night, I mean, it was like, it's going to be like 50 degrees tonight when Metallica's playing. In years past, it's been unseasonably warm for Sonic Temple. We're all going to be inside, though, tonight at the Foundry for the Mammoth Show. I wonder if we'll get any Juggalos at the Mammoth.
Juggalos be tripping, yo.
What do you think the Venn diagram is between Wolfie Van Halen fans and Insane Clown Posse fans? Is it just me in the middle? Am I standing by myself in the middle of that Venn diagram?
No.
Because I'm going to see Wolfie tonight. We're all there. And then I'm going to see the Insane Clown Posse on Monday.
Yeah, you're musically diverse.
Well, a lot of people are, though.
That's what I mean. I bet you it's not as uncommon as you think.
All right. That's what I'm hoping for. Alan, my coworker, found out at work yesterday that one of his dogs killed their cat.
Oh.
Imagine that. If I get the death penalty, this person says, I want Alan to run over my head. Apparently, he can't miss. Do you imagine if, I think when it comes to capital punishment, if you're going to be a state that's going to vote on capital punishment, because not every state has it, you make it very clear to the voters of that state, hey, if you want this to be legal, that's fine, but the accused, they get to pick however they are killed. They don't just have a menu of 3 or 4 things. Now, some of those things could be prohibitively expensive. But it is up to you, the taxpayer, to determine whether or not you want this. Everybody, people who are against the death penalty, you'd think it would be people of faith. You'd think it would be religious people that would be against the death penalty. But by and large, no, they love it. They've got a real biblical bloodlust. Nevertheless, the pro-life people who love killing adults. But what I'm saying is this decades-old argument about capital punishment. Take the morality part out of it, or however people frame it now. Frame it economically. People vote with their wallet. You go, hey, let's say the people of South Carolina. They go, you want the death penalty? Fine. It's up to you. But just know, the accused gets to pick however they want to be killed. This guy wants to be tossed out of a hot air balloon. And people go, and you couldn't give them examples because you don't know what people are going to pick. This guy wants his head run over by a talk show host in Cleveland, Ohio. All right. Of course, they hashtagged their text, cold-hearted monster, like that Paula Abdul song back in the day. Hey, your Cleveland Browns look to be at the end of an era with one Nicholas Chubb. The people in the front office there have said the door isn't completely closed, but it seems very, very unlikely that Nick Chubb will return to the Cleveland Browns. Now, he has been hurt, yes. My Chicago Bears, based on what I've heard from friends of mine who work in sports radio at home, are interested in talking to him. That would make me very happy. But there's a lot of risk involved. Andrew Berry is the big GM there over the Browns, and he said the chances of Nick Chubb coming back are very slim. He said it's probably increasingly unlikely because they have other guys. They have younger, healthier guys that can fill out that role. And Nick Chubb is, maybe getting a little long in the tooth.
It's the injuries, man.
It is the injuries, but there are guys who've been injured who get, you're not going to get some massive contract. But I can't imagine that your career is over. He's one of the best in the league before he got hurt. It wasn't like he was some middling player and then he got hurt.
I think
he was a producer.
They have to see he just probably they don't think he'll ever be what he was after the injuries.
Yeah, probably not. That knee injury, Jesus,
just brutal.
Yeah.
Nick Chubb, hasta la vista, baby! Nick Chubb, touchdown!
So we'll see. But it seems that the Nick Chubb era in Cleveland, and, a player that people loved. And right now, that is an organization that desperately needs players that the fan base can throw their arms around and not feel like they're going to get sticky when they do it. So we'll see what happens. But I would be happy to welcome Nick Chubb into the fold of the Chicago Bears. Only time I go to a Browns game is when the Bears are in town, and I think the one time they play this coming season is in Chicago. And I don't know that I'm going to go home for that. I'd rather just walk over here and see the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Alan, my ex-wife hit a pit bull on her way home from work, and its fangs punctured the front bumper.
Wow.
She took our kids with her to pick up the car from the body shop, and on her way home, she hit a deer. Good things happen to good people. Did you see those pit bulls going at the Chihuahua in New York?
Yeah.
I think it was New York, maybe D.C. There was a whole group of people, and this guy and his wife had a couple of pits, and this other lady's got a Chihuahua, and they just lunged. The dog's alive. Like, it took a licking and kept on ticking. My mom has had Chihuahuas. She's on her second one. I grew up with no pets because my mom is like, I'm allergic. But I mean, I couldn't be happier that she has a dog. I mean, especially since my dad is gone now. That's been invaluable for her. But I probably would have loved to have had a pet when I was a kid. But my mom has her Chihuahua now. And so I thought for sure, if you saw any of that video of these pit bulls going at this Chihuahua, I thought for sure that dog was dead.
Yeah.
And then there's a crowd of people that gathers around, obviously, and they're jumping on these pits' backs and trying to get them off. And, and when they finally do, like the guy with the pit bull just walks away. He's like, oh, we got to get out of here. And what are you going to do? You're not going to get a cop. Hey, this guy's dog tried to eat my dog. Yeah, well, that's what some dogs do. You'd be happy it wasn't a human infant.
Oh, yeah.
You get a taste for them, too. Let's see here.
Alan, Eric in Penn Hills, Pennsylvania. Listen to you ask questions of Rob like, is 6 months long enough to be attached to a dog? 7 months long enough? Look, I know that you've lost every dog to a relationship ending and not euthanasia, but you're going to be sad when that happens inevitably. I'm getting sad.
Yeah.
Enough dog dying discussion. I'm going to need an up-tempo goddamn number.
Yeah.
It's just hot nuts.
Uh-huh. Nobody gets me. Nobody gets me. When I go, is 6 months long enough to get attached to a dog? I'm clearly joking. Nobody gets me, Rob. Oh,
I don't know how.
What am I doing wrong? Am I too bone dry? Is that what it is? Bone dry. Waddle deedle. Am I too dry? I know this is an audio medium. If you're watching the live stream, you might see me arch an eyebrow or something. But I've got a pretty good poker face too.
No, but you followed up the question 6 months. I said it was longer, and you went 7. And I said longer, and you went 8.
That's
so
the
clearly the
joke.
joke was there.
Rob got it. You guys don't get me. How can that be? I've been here for 15 years, hosting a #1 show. How can you not get me? Man. It's okay, though. I don't want to think about my dog dying. Because you're right, I'll be upset.
It sucks.
My wife and daughter will be inconsolable. I'm sure I'll get over it. I got to go to work. But, yeah, it's going to be a real bummer. This is for you, Eric, a up-tempo goddamn number from Chick Willis. More up-tempo than the original, of course. We've got money here for it. Is $1,000, your second to last chance to win this week. Some of this money, so we'll get you in just under the wire before we come back with it on Monday. So good luck.
This is your chance to bet with the Buzzard Bookie and win $1,000 now. Enter this nationwide keyword at WMMS.com. Happy. That's happy. Enter it now at WMMS.com.
Got some food news for you. This isn't really going to mean much to anyone here, but we do have bureau chiefs in Chicago, Illinois. And, of course, now that the new Pope has been put on the map, well, Chicago's been put on the map as the only American city to have created a Pope. One of the most venerated pizza places in the city of Chicago. It's been around a long, long time. And maybe you've even been there. You know, when people would say, hey, Alan, I'm going to Chicago. Is there a pizza place in particular that I should check out? I would normally tell them to find My Pie. They had the main one was up near where I grew up, far north side of the city there. And then the family expanded to a couple of different locations. But it was called My Pie. It was stylized M-Y and then the symbol for pie, 3.14. And they are gone. They are considered to be the pizza place that put deep dish pizza in the public consciousness. But they've been open as an establishment for over 50 years, and their last location is closing at the end of June. Is My Pie a funny name for a place? Or?
No, because from Revenge of the Nerds.
Hair
Remember,
pie.
No, yes, but when they're eating the cream pies at the end, and there's a picture of her in the bottom, and he goes, that's my pie. And that just made me laugh, because I just thought of that scene in Revenge of the Nerds, which is one of my favorite movies.
It is a good movie. I haven't seen it in a long, long time. Curtis Armstrong as Booger, of course.
Oh, God.
Yeah, they probably couldn't make that now, I'm thinking.
We've got Bush.
Yeah, but My Pie is easily one of Chicago's most beloved pizza slinging institutions. And the guy who runs it, his dad began it about a half a century ago, and the guy who runs it now, he says, well, post-pandemic, it was really difficult for us, as it was for a lot of other places. And he said, also, I'm just getting old. I've been cooking for 44 years. He was 4 years old when the first My Pie opened up near Loyola University, for people who know where that is. And they're going away, and that's a bummer. Somebody left me some food news on the app, and they knew exactly who to send it to.
Alan, Pete Pittsburgh here. If you try the Mango Rush from Little Caesars, it's delicious. I hate the show.
Try what?
Little Caesars pizza.
Oh, I thought he said something from there.
Yes. Mountain Dew Mango Rush. You know, Mountain Dew is always dropping new flavors, and 9 times out of 10, they are exclusive to one location. So like Purple Thunder in the summertime, I get that at Circle K. There have been flavors that you've had to get at Family Dollar. There's been flavors you had to go to KFC for. Some of them have been only at Taco Bell or Speedway. Or, you know, now, results may vary, but because I'm a sucker for these new iterations of Mountain Dew, people know to come to me. They just dropped one a couple of weeks ago that was very disappointing, and I'm not quite sure why. It's called Baja Cabo Citrus. I think I literally got it at Meijer out of the cooler. I hadn't heard of it. I saw it. I go, hey! And it just, there's nothing to it. It's supposed to taste like
citrus,
orange something. I guess, I mean, an offshoot of Baja Blast, which has been a staple at Taco Bell for a long, long time, before they started selling that retail. But listen, I'll tell you, based on the conversation we had yesterday about slang, you want me to describe this? The flavors are mid AF, Rob.
Oh, really?
The tangerine lime is fully Ohio.
Low key, not good, huh?
No cap. Wow. No, literally, the bottle I had no cap.
Yeah,
drink it, it spilled all over. Anyway, thank you, Pete, in Pittsburgh. That Mountain Dew Mango Rush is available only at Little Caesars.
Bet.
It's bet. It's mango with some sweet heat is what it says. So, yeah, I don't know how they do it. You'd think that they would have some kind of exclusivity with one or two places, but it's like every time. Right here at B-Dubs, they got another one. I don't know if it's still on the menu, but like when I was, literally the last time I was at a BW3, it was when my dad was dying. I sat there by myself, eating a depressed sandwich and drinking a pint glass full of this Mountain Dew Midnight Purple or whatever it was called. That's why I went there. And some of them are good. Again, as many as they put out, some of them are better than others. But my assessment is that nothing still beats OG Dew. The neon yellow OG Dew. Now, I'm not trying stuff like when they do like super spicy. They're like flaming hot Mountain Dew. I'm not trying that. You know, it's not. I don't need something that's like going to burn my tongue off. But Mango Rush, that's what Pete in Pittsburgh was talking about. He wasn't asking me if I had ever tried Little Caesars pizza. But thank you, Pete. Appreciate that. If you want Orange Mountain Dew, just drink Live Wire. People, see, I don't care for that. I don't care for. There's a lot of those OG offshoots. There's the Code Red. There's the Blue. There's the. I don't drink those. I'll take these new ones that come out and try them. But I wasn't hip to Mango Rush, so thank you. Now I got to find a Little Caesars. There was one not far from me when I lived in Ohio City. There was one at Clark and Fulton. That was the one I would go to if I had a hankering for Little Caesars. Because that's a place you can just walk in and they've got an oven full of them ready to go. Yeah. So like if you're drunk or whatever, you're just like, give me one of those pepperonis. And they'll hand it to you for $8 or whatever. So next time I'm in there, maybe on the way back from the Foundry tonight, I bet you there's a Little Caesars in Old Brooklyn. Or near there,
I don't think I've ever had Little Caesars pizza in my life.
Really?
I don't think so.
I
remember the commercials.
I like it.
In fact, one of my favorite commercials of all time was a Little Caesars commercial. It was old people, like a whole family, doing a Congo line around the table. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
And they go, hey! And the dog's walking at the end, and the grandma, that's great. Love that commercial. And they goes, pizza, pizza.
Well, they're a Detroit company, and, I spent a lot of time in Michigan, and I was on in Detroit, so it's like, that's kind of where it, I guess, started for me a long, long time ago, is because they're like every 10 feet in Michigan. Years ago when I was in Dublin, there was just a neighborhood restaurant with Greek facade and lettering. It was called Little Caesars, and I was like, how are they not getting sued?
They spell it.
How have they not sued Little Caesars?
It says Lil, L-I-L, Caesar.
Little Caesars. Okay, anyway, thank you. Pete in Pittsburgh. Got to take a break here. Hey, you want Andrew Dice Clay tickets? How about that? Dice has said, Cleveland, I'm going to be in you this summer. And he's coming through to do a show at the Agora on August the 10th. Andrew Dice Clay, Sunday night, August the 10th, at the world-famous Agora. A couple of tickets here for you. If you are caller 10, I will see you there. Good luck. 216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.
The Alan Cox Show
on 100.7
WMMS.
Rover's Morning Glory.
Samantha says, we have a man at work who keeps climaxing on the shared bathroom floor. It's been months that this is going on. All we know is that it is a second shift guy.
That's disgusting.
How would you ever figure that out?
Well, you could DNA test it.
Yeah.
That's going to be...
Jeffrey, would you and Charlie like to become the investigators? And maybe do a taste test or something? See if you can narrow down who it belongs to?
No, thanks. First, we're going to need a sample from everybody on second shift.
Rover's Morning Glory.
Weekdays on 100.7 WMMS and 24/7 on our free iHeartRadio app.
Time for a new AC?
Just call sales. Just call sales.
Hey, it's Charlie. You could win a backyard barbecue at your house with me, WMMS, and Circle K. Register right now at WMMS.com or come out to one of my 2
Cleveland. Call the Alan Cox Show.
Pay attention to notice the reverse of everything that is normal becoming abnormal.
216-578-1007 or 1-800-348-1007.
We're going to be dipping a bit early today to get over to the Foundry for the Mammoth Show tonight. I hope you got in. I think all the tickets we were going to give away, we gave away, yeah?
Yep.
Doors at 6, show at 7 tonight with Wolfgang Van Halen and Mammoth, who are coming back later in the year. They're going to do that show at the Agora. They're doing some arena dates with Creed as well.
Yeah, it's November 18th at the Agora.
November 18th. There you
On
go.
sale today.
Hey. And if you have that iHeartRadio app, by the way, we'll have a handful of tickets to give to you tonight. If you have MMS preset, yeah, on the app?
Yep.
AgoraCleveland.com, obviously, all the details on all the shows they've got coming through there. But Mammoth with Miles Kennedy is November the 18th at the Agora. If you're not able to make it tonight, or if you are going to be there tonight, you're going to want to see them again. I'll also have tickets for you next week. 2 hours to midnight, our metal show presents Cannibal Corpse. End of September at the Agora. If you want to join me on week number 2 of the Cleveland Funny Bus, we do Alan Cox Show night on the Cleveland Funny Bus every Wednesday in May. I will have passes for you Monday and Tuesday, but you really are, it is a better bet to buy them because you get 2 drink tickets there at Collision Bend with your bus ticket, and it's a lot of fun. Funnybus.net is where you do that. You'll see it right there on the calendar. I think the show logo is there. Memorial Day weekend means the Berea National Rib Cook-Off and Beer Fest. Maybe this is the year I go.
Where is it?
Cuyahoga County Fairgrounds.
Okay.
Memorial Day weekend.
Because there's one in Medina, too. I didn't know if that was the same one.
Nope. There's a couple big ones in the area Memorial Day weekend.
I think they have different fairgrounds, too. Like Medina is Medina County.
Medina County Fairgrounds.
Yep.
We're doing an advanced screening of the very last chapter in the Mission Impossible saga. It's technically part 2 of the final chapter. It's called The Final Reckoning, and we're going to show it a couple of nights before it opens everywhere else. And then if you want to go to Mushroom Head Halloween, that's an annual tradition. I'll have those tickets for you as well. That's going to happen the night after Halloween, Saturday, November the 1st at the Agora.
Have you seen the Mission Impossible movies?
I love them. I don't know why, but I'm such a sucker. I think it's because Tom Cruise does such an amazing job in these movies. I know the stunts are what hooks people in, but I think they're cast really well. I think they're just awesome.
I've never seen. Actually, I saw the first one, and that was it. And as a family, we'll sit down and watch movies.
They've been making them. The first one was like 30 years ago.
I really want to watch that,
Yeah.
and I think that'll be the next series of movies we watch.
I remember going whichever one was out. It would be 2015 because I think my friend Jim this summer will have been dead 10 years. He was my co-host when I was on in Chicago, and he passed away 10 years ago. The day of his funeral, I just needed something to clear my head. My wife was pregnant, and I go, can we just go to the movies? And she's like, whatever you want to do. I'm like, I just want to turn my brain off, after burying my friend. And we went to see whatever Mission Impossible movie was out then. It had just come out. It was one with Alec Baldwin as the boss. And this, it's a Mission Impossible movie. So it's explosions and it's loud as balls. My wife falls asleep about 10 minutes into the movie.
Whoa.
Because she's pregnant.
Yeah,
so she's
yeah.
like sitting down, she's taking a load off, whatever, and she falls asleep. Now, she doesn't like Tom Cruise at all. So she was really doing a solid for me. She goes, whatever you want to do. She can't stand Tom Cruise, so she wants nothing to do with any of these movies. But she immediately went to sleep through the explosions and the noise and everything. And so it was fine. It didn't diminish my enjoyment of the movie at all.
I'm gonna have to watch them. We just started watching Kingsman.
Kingsman are good too.
Really good.
Yeah. I've always been a sucker for James Bond movies.
Me too.
And Mission Impossible movies. And I just don't know why, because I don't watch Fast and Furious movies, and I don't watch... There's just something about these movies that just sticks to my ribs, boy. Ving Rhames and Jeremy Renner was in one, and Simon Pegg is in them. I just love those movies.
Who is the quintessential James Bond for AC?
I'm a Pierce Brosnan. I love Daniel Craig. I think Daniel Craig is probably the best one. But I mean, when I was a kid, it was Roger Moore.
Yep.
So I was a kid watching Moonraker. And they were all super cartoony.
Yep.
The Daniel Craig ones are real smash mouth James Bond, which I think makes him the best one. But when I was a kid, I'm watching Roger Moore. I'm watching Pierce Brosnan.
Who was the dude that had one movie?
George Lazenby.
No, later. It was in between Roger Moore and
Timothy Dalton?
Timothy Dalton.
Because
He had one movie.
Because Lazenby only had one, too, I thought.
Oh, really?
Timothy Dalton did The Living Daylights.
He did one movie.
Yeah,
that
he
was
had
it.
one. Yeah. And Pierce Brosnan, and then it feels like there was somebody else.
No, I think it went right to Daniel Craig, didn't it?
Did it really? It was Pierce Brosnan to Daniel Craig?
I feel like that's
Yeah.
the case. I like the old Connery ones because they're so hokey.
Sometimes you have to smack a woman in the face.
Yeah. She got on a line.
Well, speaking of Pierce Brosnan, GoldenEye has just been added to the Video Game Hall of Fame for people who pay attention to that. The World Video Game Hall of Fame has inducted 4 games. GoldenEye 007. That was the 4-person mode.
Yep.
I used to play it on the N64. Quake, which people remember goes back to like the mid-90s. That was one of the first games that had like the 3D engine. You know, these were all games that would kind of set the standard for the things that were to follow. Tamagotchi, remember Tamagotchis?
Yep.
That's probably Kat's
Yeah, we had
area of
those.
expertise. Those digital pets, if you didn't feed them, they died.
Yep.
And Defender, which if you're a Gen Xer, you know. I just played Defender for probably the first time in 35 years when we were in Orlando because we spent a night at the Disney Animal Kingdom Lodge, and then the next day we were going to the park. But that lodge had an arcade, and it was mostly, obviously, new games. My daughter goes right for, like, the claw machine games. They have, like, little rubber ducks in them or whatever. So she goes for the claw games or the motorcycle riding games. She thinks those are a hoot. Well, right next to the motorcycle was Defender. They had a kind of a nod to the parents. They got to keep the parents happy, too. And they had Defender and Asteroids and Space Invaders. And I go, ooh, Defender. And I hadn't played it in so goddamn long, I forgot how hard it is.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, I, like, immediately crapped the bed on Defender. But back in the day, at the roller rink, I was the king. Defender, Cubert.
Oh, yeah.
Asteroids. There was a game called Zaxxon. I don't know how many people remember that. That was kind of a forced perspective 3D kind of spaceship game.
You a big Frogger guy?
I had Frogger in miniature form at home.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, Frogger's fun. But now it's called, what was the giant one?
The giant Frogger?
Oh, God. No, they it's essentially Frogger, but they call it something else.
Oh, okay.
You know how sometimes they'll have cabinet versions of app games at like Dave & Buster's or Main Event. So there's like Angry Birds, things like that. There's one that's like a version of Frogger for people who are too young to remember Frogger. Somebody will tell me.
The pause music for GoldenEye is the best music I've ever created for a video game. There's like memes about it. It's so good.
GoldenEye pause music on N64.
Yep.
How that pause music was coming along. Now keep in mind, this is a movie tie-in video game from the Nintendo 64. Not looking for anything too crazy. What do you think about this?
Remember this?
Vaguely, yes.
Wait. Wow.
Yeah. That's a bop.
I would just hit pause and just sit there like, yeah. Boy. I had lyrics to it and everything.
Yep. I liked the different music on the Tetris N64 game. I'm a full-on nerd, so I was playing like Doom and Tetris and things like that. But the OG Tetris soundtrack from the N64 They had and they all had different names because they were supposed to be representing like different areas of the world or different musical cultures. So there was like Greek. There was some people might remember these. Did you ever play Tetris at all? This was on the N64.
Not enough to
This one's
remember
called
anything.
Morocco. And then there was... This was, well, I think these are the ones. Yep, this was their stab at EDM. And this one was called Pyramid. Anyway, this wasn't pause music. This is a soundtrack that was underneath while you were playing, right? Because visually, Tetris is, you got to have music with it. Alan, all that dead dog talk, you forgot about Dog on the Road. Remember Dog on the Road? The two British guys who were or Australian guys? He goes, here's how you make an AC/DC song in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
How to make an AC/DC track in 30 seconds. First you need drums. Then you need bass. Then you need guitar. All you need to know are 3 chords, A, D, and G. Put them together in any order. And do your best impression of Marge Simpson. What's that? Look out! Down on the road! What's that? Look out! Down on the road!
He's not wrong.
No, he's not. That's great. Forgot about Dog on the Road. Thank you. Look out, watch out. What? No, look out, what's that? Dog on the road.
I can never unhear it now as Marge.
Yeah. So, yeah, congratulations, I guess, to the people in the Video Game Hall of Fame. I've got, what do I have for? Oh, you want some Dave Attell for Mother's Day? I keep forgetting it's Mother's Day because I whiffed it. Dave Attell on Mother's Day.
You know who's my queen? I'll tell you who's my queen. My mom. She's 87 years old. Yeah. 87 years old. I'm a good son, people. You know what I did for my mom? I built her a ramp. Yeah. It was time for her to come back in. That's right. For 2 years, she was feral and wild, living in the yard. She was naked. I was afraid. But now she's back in and better than ever. Old people, they need companionship. Loneliness, that's right, is one of the big killers of elderly. Loneliness and salt. Loneliness. I'm a good son. I would not put up with that. You know what I did? I signed her up for OnlyFans. Yeah, that's what I did. I did the photography. I took a tasteful pic, I'm talking very tasteful, of her trying to get out of her shower chair. And you know what? Like a mermaid. Yes. She looked like a mermaid. By that I mean wet and she couldn't walk. Either way. Can a boy love his mother anymore? Is that a crime?
You gotta love how Attell has never once cared about how he looks.
No.
He's just a straight stand-up comic.
I think it's even gotten worse. When you look at him now, he just looks like a hobo.
Well, he's getting older, obviously. And, yes, he just showed... We saw him not long ago at Hilarities, and he just wears the hoodie and the hat.
Well, he's got the do-rag under the hat now,
Do-rag
too.
under the hat.
Yeah,
yep.
I mean, he looks like a hobo.
He really does. Well, there he is. Alan, you were talking about video games. How about the people who are upset because Grand Theft Auto 6 has been delayed? Yeah, so they released the... People are really flipping out because it was probably a year or so ago that they started dropping trailers for Grand Theft Auto 6, and they said that it was going to cost $1 billion. But that when it came down to it, they really didn't think that they had nailed it yet. So now, because they initially said it was coming out this fall, and now they said that it's delayed until mid-2026.
Wow,
Mid-2026. Now, I think that, I feel like Grand Theft Auto might be the last gasp of how those games are made. video games are in a much different situation than they were even a few years ago, right? There's like major game publishing companies that are like laying people off, and the way that they're made is a lot different. There are a lot of smaller game generating companies that are creating things, but it is funny to see all these people flip out.
I mean, it's a video game.
It literally, people go, why are people so apathetic about America becoming a dictatorship? Because they're complaining about stuff like this. Something that literally has no effect on your life. Even if you're a fan and you just can't wait for it to come out, the fact that it's not will literally not change your life. Remember how pissed off people were when TikTok was banned for like half a day?
Yep.
Right? You're not even remotely close to that level of outrage over things that will affect your life directly. So obviously it's not, it's well-tread ground when you talk about how different people's priorities are. But man, people, if you go online, just like, message boards, people talking about Grand Theft Auto, you would think that a family member had been kidnapped and held for ransom. Like the Tom Petty song.
Held for ransom?
Yeah, you have to live like a refugee.
Oh.
Is that going to show up, by the way, on our graduation weekend?
You'll have to tune in to find out.
Oh,
Alan.
you son of a bitch. He did it to me.
I sure did.
We're doing a graduation weekend. We got to get out of here. But after 6, they'll be back to the graduation weekend, where every hour is a different year.
Yep.
So some of you will really be able to cast your mind back.
So we'll do a quick one now. We'll do one after we get off the air. At the end of the show at 6.
Yep.
There'll be a half an hour there. Then we'll give the Cavs start at 7.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have a quick burst of it, and then it'll be back at 11, then overnight, and it's just all weekend long. You'll hear a different year, different songs. It's a lot of fun, man.
Between us and the Cavs, it'll be 1987.
Is it 87?
87.
I can't remember.
Yep.
I've gone cross-eyed from looking at all
I
of
understand.
These numbers.
All right, we're going to bounce. We're going to jet. We're going to dip out to get ourselves set up for Mammoth over at the Foundry. If you're coming tonight, can't wait to see you. If you're not, well, he's coming back to the Agora in November. And we'll talk to you guys on Monday. Weekend Cox, that is Sunday morning, 8 to 10. It's 2 hours of the best stuff from the week. Metal Show is off this week, tomorrow night. What else, Rob? Where do people hit you up?
WMMS Rob on Instagram.
Katerina?
Cat B Creative or the Serbian Queen on Instagram and all other socials.
All right, and I'm Alan Cox Show. And that's it. Thanks, guys. Talk to you on Monday. We'll see you tonight if you're going to be at the Foundry. And that's it.
From the Universal Windows Direct Weather Center, WMMS Weather.
Mostly clear skies overnight, 42 for a low. Sunshine Saturday and highs